We are live right now. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, and welcome once again to GKP Live. I hope you're all good. I hope you all have had a good week. Usual thing, ladies and gents, we will be right back after this. This would have, if I were going to pick this show, I'm going to pick that one. So we've got a lot more up to come. Nice patterning, nice separation. Look at that, beautiful fish. And again, check this out, guys. This is something else. That is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Yeah. Nice wild common carp coming up for a piece of bread. Perfect. Let's have a look at his koi facility again and look at his full cherry blossom. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get from the other side so we've got the sun behind us so that you can see this, but this is absolutely stunning. Yeah, it is. Look at this. Looks good, yeah, it is. Absolutely beautiful. Without further ado, I'll get us inside, have a look around, and let you see what you think. Good evening all, welcome back. How's it going, guys? You good?
Yeah, not bad. I've just been shushed out of the kitchen.
Did you see me dash off? Can you see me when we're in the bottom bar? When we're in the studio area? You know when it puts us down there when the intro goes? No. Could you see me?
No.
I just did a mass dash on my garden thinking, oh, got to grab something. I didn't know if you were going to think, where's he going? Anyway, hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's had a really good week up to press. We have a couple
not
of
too bad. Not too bad.
Good man. Vince was just telling us about some plans of what he were doing and what he's got up and coming and what he's going to be on with, but I'm not going to be dropping any clangers or dropping any...
Yeah, I'm not worried. Shower's getting moved tomorrow.
Mention himself.
Jordan's boss has given me a couple of quid for one of me, well, I'd say one of a couple of me space art things. So just been out and got Susan some sand for the front garden. Yeah. The quicker I get that done, the less fucking I gotta get them.
Why are you whispering?
Trifle would be nice.
How we doing, Ricky?
Very good, mate. Very good.
How's my fry?
How's your fry? How's my fry?
Doing really well.
The 6 to 8 reminds me, Rick. Mr. Tropical Koi might be interested in getting some fry from you when they've got to a slightly bigger size, I do believe. Mike, let me know if I'm wrong, mate, but I'm sure you said you wanted some from Rick, but I don't know which ones you said you wanted. I can't remember, but drop in the comments, please, mate.
You wanted the 8 to 9 inch fry.
Yeah, the 8 to 9 inch fry at the fry price.
Yeah, they'll be on the website for everyone soon. Once we finish the waiting lists, then they'll go on general sale.
Thank you very much, sir. We've just got, yesterday, I took over 13 fish to get his quarantine system up and running and cycled. So once it's been running for about 7 or 8 weeks with nothing in it since his bacterial infection. And unfortunately, he bit the bullet due to a lot more fish in his main pond, in his show pond, so to speak, having the same thing. And he's starting fresh start with everything. So I took him a few sacrificial fish. so that he could get it up and running. But also, he had his growing show. Now then, how's it pronounced? Is it case? Case?
Case.
Casse shower. I took him his casse shower up and his Ichi Benny guy. So he's got those plus some of the fry or some of your fry does. Took him the 2 Matsu Kawabaki's, mate. I'm telling you now, that Matsu Kawabaki that I took him is beautiful, mate. I'm talking, if he gets that to a good size, that's going to make mine look crap. Proper crap. I'm honest to God, when I got it out, I kept seeing this little white flash whizzing through pond and thinking, what the heck's that? And I managed to catch it in net yesterday, and I took it out and I was like,
holy shit.
I was like, yeah, honest, Vince, I felt like keeping the 3-inch fin sending my big one. Because that's how good in the Matsu Kawabaki, I know it might not stay like that, but if it stays,
or was it normal scale?
It's Jinrin. It's Jinrin as well, but does each one of its little pecks, all its dorsal, its tail, its anal fins, and everyone has got a tiny little black outline all the way around the outer edge of it all.
Yeah.
But the translucent fins, but this black little picked outline around everyone. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I'll try to get.
Did you photograph it?
Well,
next week.
It's
well, I've got to, but Mike,
Matsu Kawabaki next week.
To photograph, mate. You need to get that in ball, get a photo of it, mate, for next week, because that is a little stunner. And Dad, I'm quite proud of that fish that's come from you. You know what I mean? I don't mean it's beautiful, mate. It really is. Really is beautiful. Thanks. And you know, remember the 3 black ones that I said, these are going a little bit dark, maybe they might just be pterygoids and lighten up a little bit. All those turned completely black, all 3 of them. Now, one of them looks like it could be a chag, a darkish chag. Well, it might be a bit of a chocolate-coloured chag. And the other 2 have turned into Matsu Kawabakis. And I noticed the first one got a little horseshoe on its nose first. The second one's starting like that, and you can see patches where it's lightening up on its sides. But the sumi on it is unbelievably inky black.
Are you sure it's not a karasu? Mm-hmm.
Well,
like the crow, is it?
I'm not sure, mate. I'm saying Matsu Kawabaki because it's the only one that I knew that's, you know, beginning in black and white like that. So I will go in Matsu Kawabaki, but let's see what people out there think next week. See what you want to identify it as.
I've got a couple for Ricky.
And if you want to know about karasu, Koidama Koi Farm have just dropped a showcase of a karasu. Beautiful fish it is.
Is it called the crow as well?
It translates to crow, yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to say then, Daz?
Yeah, I've got a couple for Ricky to look at next week. Matsu Kawabaki. Well, I'm not sure if the Matsu Kawabaki are black and grey. One of them's huge. Yeah, don't look like the other Matsu Kawabakis I've got.
I've got one for you too. I'm not going to say where it is. Remember, you've got a Kage Hayatsura.
Yeah.
I know where there is one.
All right.
I'm going to hopefully get it. That's what I'm not saying where it is, but it's beautiful.
It's not our Mick, is it? You're not having it off a Mick?
No. It's from a shop, but it's very.
I know where it is.
It'll be gone now.
I'm going to get there first.
If you get it first, you get it first. I won't be bothered as long as they know it's ended up in a pond that I'm still going to be able to see it. Nice fish, really nice. You know you are.
Does the Matsu Kawabaki category cover Kumonru as well?
What, our little show?
Yeah.
Well, it is a Deutsch Kumonru, a Deutsch Matsu Kawabaki, really, isn't it?
Well, if that's the case, I've got 2 to photograph. Yes.
There you go. Why not?
That'd be interesting, guys. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, so we're going to class a Kumonru and a Matsu Kawabaki then for next week's photographs, guys. If you can share me your pictures of your Matsu Kawabakis and your Kumonrus, we're not going Benny Kumonru because that's stepping into another one.
You bastard.
All right, then go on. Or a Benny Kumonru. And then we might as well just step into the realms of Showa.
Yeah, it's got to be black and white.
Yeah, it's got to be black and white. We're not going Benny's. No Benny Kumonru. Just the Kumonru or your Matsu Kawabaki. So next week, guys, if you can do me a huge favor throughout this week, and into before Thursday night next week, if you could send me your photographs. Now you can either send them to me on WhatsApp, if you're on WhatsApp, or Telegram, or you can send them me on. I've had some send me on Instagram as well. So
Email.
Yep, email.
Can you remember the email address, though, Gaz? This is the question.
gazerskoipon1@virginmedia.com. There you go. I got it. Other one is on the
Facebook page,
Facebook group, which is Gazers Koipon, or through Messenger. But the only trouble is with them on Facebook Messenger, they come through real small pictures, so they're a bit naff that way.
Yeah.
They end up with tiny little.
Yeah, that last week. Yeah.
Ideally, not through Messenger if you can help it. Right then, what have you gentlemen? What's been going on this week? What have you been up to?
Not a lot. Work. Boring work.
Well, I can tell you this week.
Because you're a landscaper and stuff, so you must do lots of different things.
Yeah, I mean, it's not boring. It's just I'd rather be doing fish stuff.
There you go.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah.
There's a couple of us that have managed to do that all day, every day.
This week,
Who does it?
I've been doing fish stuff all week. I've stood in my shed for hours watching me fish. It's been great. I've done absolutely nothing. Supposed to be mending the fence.
Gaz has got 9 days off.
9 days. Until next Monday. So next Monday before I'm back. So actually, I've been treating for goddamn flukes.
Yeah, pretty much the same as me, actually. Yeah.
So the fish that I took over to Mike's came with a free gift.
I thought you cleared the flukes you told me last week.
Yeah, I did, mate. And I scraped them just to double check. When I scraped them, not last week, week before, nothing. And I found white spot, and I got rid of the white spot. So I thought, before I take these fish over to him, I want to scrape and make sure I've got rid of all the white spot. All the white spot gone. Brilliant. So got Mike's fish, scraped Mike's fish, covered in tiny little baby flukes everywhere. Loads of them. And they were babies, because I went even as far as I could, and I thought, God damn, that's flukes everywhere. There were tiny, tiny, tiny little ones all over them.
Were they doing a D-I-S-C-O?
Well, mate, there must have been. Honestly, I stuck the first scraper for Mike's fish, I slid it under, popped it under the microscope, and then I did this. In the background laughing and taking the piss out of me because they said I looked like we're having a shit while I was trying to focus it.
Microscope face.
That was me microscope straining face. So I'm looking at them all, and I got it focused in, and instantly there must have been 25 feet just in that one place.
Oh, so they weren't D-I-S-C-O, they were raving.
They were, mate. They were having a...
So you must have had egg laying flukes then.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, you don't see so often.
Yeah.
So the chloramine tea didn't touch the eggs. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it's normally live bearers that you most common.
Live bearers, the gill flukes, aren't they?
Actually, they both go wherever. They're not that fussed.
Yeah.
But yeah. The Dactyla gyrus is the egg laying ones.
I had absolutely tons on that one slide, so I went out and I got some Lennox Pro, and we stuck some of that in. I think, right, this is straight up, ladies and gents, I think my Yamabuki Ogon is a chemical junkie. I'm telling you, honestly, I'm telling you, he's a crackhead. That's what I think he is. It's a chemical crackhead, that's what he is. Not a thing, right? Not flashing, nothing else other than him. And he's clamped up and he's flashing around pond and thinking, what the hell's going on? I better do a scrape and see what's going on. So I do a scrape, find out that I've got flukes. I go get some treatment. I bang the fluke treatment in. Everything else starts flashing around like nuts. They're all flicking. They're all going for it. I'm thinking, right, okay. Yamabuki's just sat there. God, he's going around looking for food. Everybody else is twitching off of everything and going like it. I'm thinking, he's a chemical junkie, I'm telling you. Everything today is perfectly fine, and he's now flashing around again. What's going on?
Yeah, cold turkey.
Yeah. Maybe he's the one that starts it.
I think
maybe he's your carrier.
Yeah, I think more than anything, he's the one that's, whenever I've had any problem, he's always been clamped up on his left fin, on his left pec. Every time there's been an issue, he's been the one that's always shown it. So,
troublemaker.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Now,
He's a sensitive one, isn't he?
yeah. It's yours. Right, first of all, I will be sending you 2 little gifts and a third little gift from Fenland Lass, mate. This is a little keyring from Fenland Lass. That was to say a little bit of a sorry for beating you to the prize more than once. So there you go. There's a little keyring for you, mate. That is going to be coming along with GKP pen, and I'm going to be sticking you a GKP mug in the post, mate. Just to say thank you. Now, I hope you don't mind, bud, but I had, as I shown quite recently, I showed that I ain't pretty good. I ain't really all that good in keeping bonsais alive. So I had a lovely dead bonsai tree corner of my conservatory, and I received a prize this morning, a gift this morning. It came through the post, and it came on a little block of wood, and I thought, I think that'd look lovely in that little bonsai pot. So I decided, mate, to take your little bonsai that you made me, which is this, by the way, which is absolutely beautiful. And I stuck it inside. I don't know how I'm holding this one, Dave, because it's not going to leak any water. So I stuck the block inside and just topped it off with a little bit of soil and put a little couple of stones on. But check that out, folks.
That looks good.
Nice. Really nice.
That is beautiful, mate.
Can't kill that one, can you?
No, that is absolutely brilliant, mate. Fantastic. Well happy with it. And it's found its little place, but this is what I ran to bottom of the garden for. So
you've watched the leaves fall off in a couple of fucking weeks.
But yeah, I think I'm hoping Will I got it somewhat like what it should have been, or how you would have envisioned it. But I thought, do you know what? I can prune this and shape it up to whatever I want, because technically I don't have to cut it off, and then I don't have to water it and worry about it coming back. So well happy with that, mate. It's stunning. Chuffed to bits. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it greatly. But yeah, this is the one I got. Vince has also already got one. But he's also got one.
As well.
Yeah, he's also got one that's up for auction now. So if you go over to his channel, guys, and check him out, give him a subscribe.
He's done another silver one, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. It really is nice.
I got one minute. I actually prefer the ones he's doing at the moment over the ones with the glass leaves, because I think that takes more skill to create.
The turns on every one of them, yeah, they do look
cool. To create that. That's yeah.
Yeah, if one of the admin could do me a huge favor, if you can right click on the 3 little dots at the side and go to Will's channel and cut, copy and paste and drop me a link in for his channel so people can go and have a look at what he's doing and what he's making. And mate, those 5 fish that you got today, bang on. Lovely, mate.
Good.
But yeah, big thanks, bud. Thank you very much. Right, where was we? What were we up to and what were we saying before I put in my thanks? Well, if nobody can remember, I'll get as prepared with his first question. Well, actually, Daz, I got one here for you, mate, and I will share this for. Let me see if I make sure I get this.
Is it trifle related?
It's kind of a busman's holiday one, mate. It's work related. It's somebody that's having a problem with an acer.
Yeah,
and it's for this young lady there. We have this one, which is, let me make sure I can bring this up. Hopefully we can make that full screen. Yeah, there we can. All right, let's have a quick look at this. Share my second screen for you. This is what we got, Daz. They got a small problem with their acer.
Yeah.
And it says, hi, it's Sophie and Richard. We're going to ask tonight on the live a question. It isn't koi related. We're having trouble with one of his aces. The leaves are a little crispy, stroke burnt. We send a few photos of a small one in the pot. Here's some of our photos of our aces. The small one in the pot is the one we're having trouble with. Now, I don't know if I can make that I can't make any figure on that, Daz. But any idea? Can you shed any light on it?
Common problem with acers is you put them in an exposed position, wind, sun, it tends to scorch the leaves. They really like it dappled shade. I mean, I've had to move them 2 or 3 times around the garden in the past till they're happy in the right spot. I mean, the other thing as well, a lot of people don't realize.
In the front garden, that's the same, but it's been there that long. You know, I just have to accept as soon as it gets hot, all the leaves scorch, drop off it, and then start growing again.
Yeah, that's what happens. They shed the leaves, and like you say, Vince, they'll resprout again. But yeah, they're in the wrong spot, really. I mean, the only other thing is sometimes people don't realise acers like or need acidic soil to be potted in. So if you've got
herbaceous as well, so a lot of air gaps and that in it.
Yeah. So if you haven't used ericaceous compost when you potted them up, then that will make them struggle as well.
Yeah.
And water them and rainwater. Not tap water.
Or if you can, pond water is even better.
Rather than tap water. Oh yeah, pond water as well. Pond water. That's what I got mine going with pond water. Whenever
unless you got salt in it, then don't use your pond water.
Yeah, that's true.
My pleasure, Gwen. Now it is Gwen, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Well, Daz's pleasure, because it was really in that answered you, because I ain't got a clue. I know what I did with mine is I had to position mine 3 times before I got it to where it is now. Each time first time I had the winter that seemed to knock it back really late. It wasn't happy at all. And then the second time after that, it was sort of like I moved it about 6 foot over into corner, and it didn't like that position either. So I moved it onto where it is now, and it seems to be fine there. I've not had any problem with it, unless we get some real bad windy days when it's red hot at the same time, which is very rare. So
also, how long's it been in that pot? Is another question, because there could be a possibility it could be pot bound.
Yeah, it doesn't look too big for the pot though, Vince. And if it's been struggling, it won't have made an awful lot of growth.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of keep moving it around.
Don't
think. I mean, sometimes they look horrendous. Every single leaf will drop off. You think, oh my god, it's dead. Don't give up on it. I've got one Bloodgood, I think it is a variety, and had it at home in the back garden. Yeah, it's just a bunch of sticks. I took it over to my mum and dad's, put it in a pot. Yeah, still wasn't happy. Moved it, planted it in a spot, dappled shade. It's doing fine now. It's making loads of growth. Mm-hmm. So it is trial and error and getting it in the right spot where it's happy.
There we go. So it's more of, so what's their ideal? Partial sun and slightly sheltered from wind.
Yeah. Dappled shade and well drained as well. They don't like it if it's boggy, waterlogged ground is no good for them.
So there you go. There's a few top tips from the man who knows, as he's a landscaper, and obviously Vince that keeps him as well. I've been lucky. I took two or three goes. I think I finally found the right place for mine. That's why I don't really want to move it, Daz, from where it is around it.
Top tip as well. If you see the Acer palmatum, which are your general small leaf red leaf acers, you'll always see the best ones, the biggest ones, where it's sandy soil. Because sandy soil is always acidic and or generally acidic, and clay is alkaline. So if you've got clay, you're going to struggle. My advice would be, if you've got clay, dig like a metre square hole if you want going to plant it in the ground, and fill it full of ericaceous compost or sandy soil if you can get hold of it. You'll give it a much better start.
Right. Yeah, anything that you can feed the soil with to encourage it with it as it's growing, Does
you can give it a feed of chelated iron or sequestered iron, which is a feed they normally use for camellias and rhododendrons. It's ideally suited for acidic loving plants, so that will give it a bit of a boost. And if your soil's just sort of borderline, it'll tip the balance, make it a bit more acidic and better environment for the plant.
Brilliant. There you go. Good. I hope that helps. Good luck.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Right then. Anybody else got anything they would like to discuss or talk about this week that they've been up to before we go into another question?
Well, what about the Secret Sand Key event?
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
I really enjoyed it.
I tried to capture it as it is, and what we're doing and what we always get into. But there were I think there were a little bit there for everybody, really, weren't there? They were nice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good conversation. You could have had a stand outside and have a natter all day long. There were that many people there that you could stand and chat with. Yeah. All of the guys from Core Talk were going round, Crafty, Lee Hadfield, everybody were going round, and Evo. Everybody had a chat with everyone. It was brilliant. I had a great day. I enjoyed it. Really did.
Yeah. Everyone was really approachable, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
So yeah, massive thanks to Lee and Rick and everybody else, and obviously all the rest of the guys. I'm sorry, I don't know everybody's names, but we even had a chat with Alan for long enough, didn't we? With regards to.
Oh man, that man's batshit crazy.
He was more than happy to share. Basically, me and a couple of others were around a vat, and we said, right, which fish would you go for out of those? I know the two that I've picked, which are the two that you'd picked. And I were right with the Yamabuki, I were right with the Peritina or Platinum Ogon. And then we were looking at the Kahaku, and another gentleman said, right, which one would you go for? Which one? And he basically said, right, there's only one fish in there worth getting, and it's this one. And this chap just went, thank you very much, I'll have that. Yeah, but it was a beautiful fish. It was really nice, and I think that guy walked away with a very nice fish out of it. But he went into the trouble to explain why, what we were looking at, what he was looking at, and the body, the pattern, and what it were going to progress to, and everything. So it was really good to sit there with people like that, sharing information and having a chat that were prepared to basically pick you a fish if you asked them, and he would. He did. He did it for a few people, which was really nice.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one.
But that's what I mean. That's everybody were all mucking in, weren't they? Everybody were all having a chat with everybody. We're brilliant.
I mean, I 3 times I got asked, "Are you working here? Can you bowl me a fish out?" And I'm like, "Not my not touching that water net."
No, it's a good event. They put on a good day for everyone. If you're into koi, then how could you not like a day like that when everyone's that's into koi's there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And we were there from 10 o'clock. When did we leave? 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 to 5 or something like that. We were pretty much there. It went like that. It was done. Before he knew it, they were gone. But I went an hour and odd over dinner. Before I even realised it was like 1:30, 1:45, and I missed out on the pork sandwiches.
You went for the hot roast, packed up and gone.
Yeah, it was done. Oh my God, damn it! I did get something in the morning early, but yeah, brilliant day. Proper enjoyed it. So if there's ever another one, guys, if you do another one, you really do want to get yourself out there, because it was a great day. Yeah. It really was.
It's not just that there was all walks of life as far as the hobby is concerned there.
Yeah.
There were people there that have got 10, 15,000 pound ponds, and there was people like us that have got ponds that have been made out of recycled materials and stuff. But there was absolutely no animosity, no one looking down at anyone. It was literally koi, and that's what it's about.
Too right.
Yeah. What were your take on it, Rick? From a
good day, mate. Yeah, to see Ricky put his neck out and pick those let people pick Sankeys and grow them out, and it's a brave man to do it. To ask that money for a little tiny fish and say, "Yeah, I'll grow it in 6 months or 4 months or whatever he did, and I'll bring him back, and you'll be." Yeah, I mean, fair play on him. It was good event.
They had some growth on them as well, didn't they?
They'd done exceptionally well, and I mean, some of the fish were really, really good. That's the thing with a grow on like that. Some went forward, some went a bit backwards, but you get to see it. That's the whole beauty of it. People pick those fish, and proof was in the pudding. He'd given them a good run. Yeah, and like I say, all the other stuff there, it's just, it's one of those things, isn't it? How can you, if you enjoy koi and people that chat with keep koi, how can you not have a nice day out, really? Because like I said, there was all walks of life there. Everyone was chatting with everyone about whatever topic, wasn't it? And no one was pressured into
exclusive koi.
Yeah, I mean, their fish they put on, everything looked pristine. You know, to have that many fish in little vats.
Yeah,
good.
but what I mean by is they had fish there for everyone's pocket. Can you see what I mean in that respect?
Right.
It wasn't just directed at those that have got. Can you see what I mean? That everyone had a price point in there that they could afford it.
Could have got a fish, couldn't have been? If you wanted to go down to a smaller size and scale, there was some fish there at a reasonable price. And then, I mean, I will say there were some there that were a bit. I mean, we were looking in the. I picked two Sankeys that were in that big one, and it's how we've said this before. It's how your tastes change as you progress through the hobby. What I might have said, oh, I like that, and then now what we're looking at. By the time I'd done just two fish, I'd spent £1,700. I didn't, but if the two fish that I wanted to get, that I wanted or I would have wanted, that'd have been £1,700. They were real nice fish, really nice.
That's the progression.
It is, yeah.
Progression in the hobby.
I've been happy with anything beforehand, maybe years and years ago, but now the ones that I want, my wallet says, "Shut up." But yeah, proper brilliant. I had a really good day.
But the more koi you see, that's just a progress. That's just standard. You know, you're looking at the vats of little kahakus, and you almost there's 100 little kahakus in there, and you're sort of turning your nose up at them, and you think, well, they're all pretty good little fish, and they're all going to become good fish, and you're like, nah, I'm not that, nah, because you taste change, and you want better fish. You understand what makes a better fish. You've just seen Alan pick a good fish and tell you why it's good. Now you want a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I did pick the same Perugina, Platinum Ogon, whichever you want to class it as what Alan did, which I was quite happy with that. I think that's the best one, and then
those fractions were fucking lovely, though, especially the Gimrin one.
And the Yamabuki that was in there, the nice light lemon one. I spoke with him. I said, look, if I were going to go for one, because we had Leo with us and Aaron from Humber Koi, and I was saying, like, which would you pick? And he went, that nice bright. No, I'm saying, and I was saying to him, like, no, mate, you want to go for the slightly lighter lemon one. So as it gets older, it will progress and the colour will come up on it more, blah, 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 blah. And Alan stood outside of us and I was like, Al, which one would you go for? I've picked this one. I want you to say which one you'd go for. And he balled it all up and he explained more reasons into it. How they must have the scales on the top and they need to come from just behind the head plate, back and forward. And he's giving him all a lot of information, which were really good. And truth be told, guys, I do believe that young Leo got the best when he picked the kahakus in the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Young Leo were one off. Rick, me and you were 2 out. Of what they picked, that is. But I mean, we picked what we liked, obviously, what we would go for. But against Rick and Alan, we were 2 off with what they went for. We were kind of in the middle of them. But But young Leo, well done, mate, because he got the top 3 and he were 1 off. We got 1 off, so he were 1 wrong. Different place, but did real well.
But even that, them putting those fish in there for, they're not cheap fish to sit in there and get stared at and stressed out for a day. And Ricky's put them out there just as an added bit for the day or whatever, isn't it? And it's everything little bit like that adds to the day, a little bit more of a talking point, and pull each other's legs about who's got a good eye and knows what they're talking about. Makes it,
Well, we all got the number 1 right.
That was a different level, though, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? That was something else. That were lovely fish, and only if I remember right, I think it was only Nisai, or was it Nisai?
Yeah, Nisai.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were either 2 or 3 year old. I think Rick said, which is
2 year.
That fish were 50 odd, 55 cm. Good fish, beautiful. But proper. Daddy was. Aaron just said there. Daddy was far off. You are, mate. You were way off. But that was another thing. Where obviously we've talked about this before, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Aaron. For Aaron, being colourblind, those fish don't look anything like what we're looking at, and that's got to be really difficult to pick what you want and what you want to be looking at when you're colourblind. So
he could have a very cheap hobby, couldn't he? Because he'll see things no one else does.
Shiramujis.
Shiramujis all day long. That's his favourites. But yeah, I mean, a Kahaku trim must look absolutely fantastic. You know, I mean, it's green and white.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's cool at the same time, isn't it? You'd love to be.
Honestly, Aaron, it's purple and white.
But yeah, we had a good day. Proper enjoyed it. So thanks very much for putting the event on, lads. It was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant day. Excuse me. Brilliant day. And yeah, looking forward to the next event.
Alan will be joining us later anyway, as well.
Well, yeah, it will be when I actually post the. I need to post this in. So bear with us 1 second. Chat amongst yourselves, gentlemen.
Vince, that's what turned up today.
What's that?
It's
World of
World of Nishikoi magazine.
Oh, right. Yeah. Cool.
Serious. I mean, it's a booklet, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously, good information, you know. And I've got the latest koi talk as well. Bit of plug-in for
that Matt Super is lovely, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, we've gone from no magazines for years up to
now two again.
Yeah. I mean, it's the information that's in these. Obviously, the Koi Talk one's coming out monthly, so much smaller, but it's monthly. And this one, 6 months. Yeah, I don't know, it's not coming out very often, but you can see why. The information in it is.
Oh yeah,
really.
Is that the one that we bought?
Yeah. I've got
volume 3 then.
This is volume 3 that's just come out. Yeah.
We had volume 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
but I love to pick up and read it, put it down again.
Yeah.
I prefer that than internet.
Oh yeah.
I like to be able to have something in your hand to look at. Click the pages, give it a sniff.
Definitely.
Get your mind out your gutter, dirty boy pipe.
You not played that board game? Man, it's bad. You don't want to play it. It gets the smell of something daft like. He actually has to. There's some that smell like vomit. Some you scratch him and then you smell the card and you've got to guess what it is. But goddamn, some of them are proper bad, make you gip. Oh, never. We played it at Christmas weekend, man. It was funny as hell. Proper good game. I have to. Not for the delicate. But anybody that gets it wrong, you've got to eat. There's another one where you can you get jelly beans.
Yeah,
the jelly beans have all got some different taste to them. Oh god damn, some of them are vile. Literally,
don't ever play that.
That's bad. That one, hasn't it? That one's
easily. Yeah.
Right, we'll go through a few comments. We'll say hello to a few people, and then we will kick off with a few more of this evening's questions. Kazi Koi says, good evening, guys. Hope everyone's well. Beer, barbecue, and GKP. What more could anyone want? Here's to another great life. Thank you very much, Kaz. Good man. Alan. God damn. Aaron. I don't know why I always call him Alan. Yeah. we were playing COD earlier on, and he had some Mexican music on. So I'm guessing that's going to be, I don't know, some kind of something that needs to be translated with evening Cozzy again from him, which I did understand. But Bubble and Fins, Vicky says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all good. Having a good week so far. Let's get ready for another Thursday Night Live with the guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. DT Koi says, good evening, all. How is everyone's week going? Dave, on so far, mate. And here we are, the gentleman himself. Evening, all. Another fab show up and coming. Best night of the week. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it greatly. Evening, Will. Paul Butler says, hi, everybody. Gavin Bucknell says, evening, all. And obviously, a good evening from myself. Seska says, hi, with a wave to everyone.
Hi, Seska.
Tom's coming on really well, Seska.
Yeah. Just need to get the fiberglass
there. Sorry, go on, Daz. Go on, mate.
So she just needs to get the fiberglass done now.
And see, I haven't seen the latest.
I really do take my hat off for that.
The block work is spot on. Absolutely perfect.
That block work would put a lot of fucking builders to shame.
It would, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did share some photos and some of the brickwork that I see on site with some of the stuff that Seska had done. The job block work makes some builders look bad. We've got Evening all from Mr. Tropical Koi.
Evening, Mike.
We've got Michael Lawson that says, good evening all, hope you're all well.
How you doing, mate?
We've got a good evening all, how's everyone's week going again from DT? I'm sure it does that. Are you doing this on purpose or am I?
We've got an echo.
DT. There we've had the Gwen's little hi guys and dads. Vince, hope you're having a great evening and enjoying the weather. Richard and Sophie in Scotland. And hopefully that answered your question for you too. DT says weather's been naff here in Yorkshire, cloudy all day. It has, mate. It's been freezing. Almost tried to
tell you what, just stop saying them borders. We've still got beautiful blue skies.
Been cooking, isn't it?
Oh yeah, cooking.
Absolutely cooking. Yesterday, I drove all the way over to Liverpool yesterday. Absolutely red hot. Sunny. When we left here, we were overcast, cloudy, and I'm in a coat. It was that cold. Dropped off proper much. Shrewsbury Coy says, evening everyone.
Evening.
Evening, everyone. I thought I misread that for a second then. Paul Matt says, good evening. Skeggy dropped in with a boom. Johnny says, evening, guys. Hope everyone's well. Thank you very much for joining us, Johnny. We've got
Johnny. Please don't shout. There's no need.
44 watching, only 12 likes. Please give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, DT. In fact, there you go. I'll make it
Come on, polish the thumb. You know you want to.
Up North Coy, how you doing, Si? Hope you're well, mate.
Hey, Simon.
Says, evening, everybody, with a wave and a thumbs up. Stevie G.
In fact, Simon, can you give me a call tomorrow, please?
And while I think on here, Mike, check that out, mate. Look at that dog. Look at your dog and look at that dog. He'll know what I'm talking about. He's just got himself. That is a cracking dog, that, mate. Absolutely stunning, Steve. And Mike, look how nice that is, and look how nice yours is, and yours is on you. That's a big dog. Yours is going to become a big dog, mate. Skeggy says 40 cm fry. Yeah, 100%. I'll agree with that, mate. Mr. Tropical Coy would like some of your 40 cm fry.
Not 90 cm, then.
And yes, if you wouldn't mind, please, guys, tell the guys out to see your question. Please put them in caps. And I don't think you're shouting. It will literally just make them stand out from everybody else's comments. So I know it's a question that you would like to ask the panel. Miss Tropical Koi says, yep, and thank you so much, guys. I love the fish. Mate, some of them are just pond fillers just to cycle your system with, mate. But there was a good, out of the 13, there's a good 8 at least that will make some really nice fish. So hopefully you just need to grow them up a bit now, mate, and off to a good.
Yeah, it's all over to you now, Mr. T.
That's it. 2 kilos of food a day. It'll be fine.
Yep.
Oh, we've lost the boss. He's gone. He's running camo. I don't know what that means.
He's jumped ship.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I was telling these boys that the fryer's starting to show patterns now, Ricky.
Yeah, we'll do the oh, Gaz, is that you? Reverb.
Is that me? Reverbing, echoing. Shouldn't be.
Back.
I'm back. Is that right? Can you see me?
Reverb. That's a fucking technical word for this time of the Thursday night.
I haven't had a beer yet.
Oh,
yes. Where did we go? I don't know where I got up to on comments then. There we go. Dave Koikama says, evening, guys, and everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much, Rocky Boy. Hope you're good, mate.
Yep. Rocky Boy.
Keith Smith. Evening, all.
Evening, Keith.
Ollie Log says, hi, all. Thank you very much for joining us.
Carlos, evening, Ollie. Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
How's my Ginrin doing?
Evening, Fernand lads.
Ginrin? What's the Ginrin?
Carlos had some fish out of the Bifter tank, didn't he, before it got moved out of the dining room. And one of them was turned into a beautiful fucking Ginrin achiever. And I'm like, I'll have that back. And his missus is like, no, fuck you. Literally, that's what she said.
Vince the Twisted One, the GKP at no count accepts any liability.
Just in case.
Right, Vince.
Don't want to be everybody else's missus.
I've got a dirty great crow taking out my fucking skimmer.
As long as not having your fish.
long as it ain't far for your fish, yeah.
Could be worse. It could be in my skimmer. Finland Lass says, evening, guys. How you lot doing? Very well, thank you. And I hope you're all well, too.
Even though.
Oh yeah, what a wicked day yesterday. What a wicked day.
I've got to, I saw the thumbnail, mate. I saw a couple of the pictures on the. I'm guessing that's going to be.
We had the owlie, didn't we? Oh, mate. At one point, he was walking. I was walking around the garden and that with him sat on my shoulder, and he was like a fucking parrot. until they took him home, and I looked down, and I had fucking owl shit on my hood. On my hoodie.
Nice. That's what you want.
Absolutely stunning bird.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Is a thumbs up, Crafty, when you're ready, mate.
Ooh, Tony's coming.
Joining in.
Crafty.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Look at that.
Crafty.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, perfect.
I've got some chickens just hatched down by the side of me, so if they start making any noise, I'll mute the mic off.
Oh. Baby chickens.
What type of chickens have you got?
I think we've got some Polish and some Orpingtons.
Both Orpingtons.
Mm.
So the Polish are the pom-pom-head ones, yeah?
Yeah.
Like a silky.
Mr. Fox had 25 of our chickens on Christmas morning. It's like we was unwrapping presents, he was unwrapping heads. Like,
lovely.
So they went through the lot and nailed them all. Then they're bastards, aren't they?
Yeah. Man.
So what, you're going to keep them indoors now? Keep them safe?
No, we hatch every year, like, but when they're too little, you can't have them outside. You know,
you got them under infrared light.
No, the missus does it. She's got this like thing that goes up and down, a heat pad, and they all sit underneath there. But they kick one out, and then it chirps like fuck because it's cold, like. So they're just walking back in, thick as mince, man. Thick as a whale's lip, as Alan would say.
You can get a little. Well, obviously you'll know anyway if you've done it regularly. You can get like the shades with the heat bulb as well, so it puts down a cascading light over top to them if they get one that gets evicted.
My electric bill's huge, man.
Yeah.
Did you have a good app for it?
Ponds and
stick it over your pond, yeah.
Yeah, put it in the air source, heat pump, man. That'll keep it quiet.
They come on a good hatch rate, or did you have a few that didn't make it?
No, you never have 100% success rate. I think she a lot didn't come actually go well this year because she buys them on eBay and they come through the post like so, and then she whacks them in. She's got 2 incubators, but they just do me head in, man. When they're this age, I just want them outside. I make so much fucking noise.
Are they self-tumbling incubators, or do you have to turn them and turn them?
No, they do all of it herself. They're quite clever, actually. They keep the temperature at whatever it's supposed to be with this little degrees. Like drip pod, like putting the humidity heat in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, quite good. But it's nothing. My mate up in Scotland, he raises them hunting birds, what pheasant, and they do like 32,000 eggs at a time.
Wow,
pheasant or grouse.
That's a lot.
It's quite bad, isn't it? 32,000, rear them all, feed them up, let them go, and then blast fuck out of them with shotguns. Like, and you have to pay the farmer, like, you know, just for the fun. You know, here's a few £100. I'm going to go and blast some of your birds. Wow. You had a good week. Have a good. I was listening. You enjoyed the show, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wicked.
Good stuff. Yeah,
that was for me. That day was as equally on par with every show that I've been to, and that's honest. Yeah. I've enjoyed every show that I've been to, but obviously getting to have a walk around and a talk with people and having a little bit of a laugh and a joke with everybody else, and just listening to what we're going on was equally as enjoyable as any show that I've been to. So,
but in a different way, wasn't it, Gav?
Yeah, not in the showing sense,
but in a different way. Yeah,
but it was equally on par in my eyes. I enjoyed that as much as what I enjoyed going to the Newark show last year. So to me, if that's something that you're thinking of doing on a regular, I'll be there for that one.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing sure.
I think.
It was good, mate. Really well good.
Yeah,
proper enjoy.
The bit that I like the most is that there's a lot of positivity talk. So it's a lot of what's good in the fish that you're looking at, rather than when you go to the shows, you know, people moaning that there's a crease in the bottom of a vat, rather than looking at the fish that are in it, you know, shit like that. And it just like blows my mind. Or that one's got this and that one's got that, or that one should have won the award. It's not about that there. You know, it was the same at part one as well, to be honest. Part one, a lot smaller scale, but yeah, Alan did me head in though. I can't wait for him to come on. I'm going to give him another burst.
I'll show this now, and then I'll show it again when Alan comes on. There you go. There were a certain few people that told me that it wouldn't be possible for me to get
I've seen your video.
Yeah.
a koi talk cup. So I had a word with Rick and told him, and we got a cup, and he even signed it for me. But I did let him know that Alan said there'd be absolutely no chance you'd get one out of Rick because it's a time.
Mate, is that tight? He squeaks.
And this was his reply to Alan. So each time I have a cup of coffee and I drink it when Alan's on, I can.
Fuck you, Alan.
That's the kind of
idea was that Ricky's.
Rick's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I asked him to sign it. I gave him a pen to sign it, like just for a laugh. And then I thought, well, I'll get one. Not only will I get one, I'll get it and get it signed too. And then he said, "Can I put Ultra one underneath? You can put whatever you want, mate, but I'll show it on video if you do." So I did. So if all of you that didn't watch the actual GKP one that we did the last video, which was for the Nuke event, watch it right to the very end because you'll see me.
Yeah, I've seen it on there, mate. I like your little laugh at the end as well.
That tiny little chuckle.
I could not do that part. Just do one cut, and if it comes out well, it comes out well, and it did. But yeah, they were brilliant. But that was the kind of thing, Crafter, I'm talking about. There were banter, there were laughs, there were jokes. Even the bit where Alan launched his brochure at Rick at stage, and he said, "You can't hit me in public in front of it." The lads banter a bit between each other that you've got going on, and the sense of humour that everybody had. It weren't all dead serious, but it was at the same time. There were important information put out, but there was still an element of fun to it too, which was
right balance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's what it's about, isn't it? You know, them events are about people, like-minded people coming together and chatting about what we all enjoy, isn't it? You know, teaching each other. You know, I learned a few things. I ain't gonna lie. I learned quite a few things off Alan. He tested me. Yeah. He tested me because, as you know, I've been a little bit of his understudy. He tested me about 6 times, man. Fuck me, man. Done me nothing. And he said, "Did you see exclusively's what were they? Ginrin Karashigoi?"
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he said, "Which one's the best in there?" I thought, "Fuck me, they all look the same, don't they?" You know what I mean? You're all darting around. You're trying to watch a fish and you lose it because like 3 swim past it. You're just like, you know.
Yeah, Rocket Boy almost had one of them.
I took one. I bought my missus one.
They were nice, though.
Yeah. Was it the best one?
I was tempted.
It was the best one, mate.
It was the best one. You got there in the end, then.
I bought it before you guys turned up, so I had a pick of the pot, like you know, perk, I suppose. But yeah, I was sat in the car all bloody day in a bag.
Right.
Mind you, so was Lee's Pan Show, though, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, they, you know, exclusively had some quality fish out, didn't they? At reasonable prices as well, I think.
Yeah, they were real nice. Did you get the Achiba bins? The one that
yes, I did. Yeah, we go one, yeah.
Oh, that in the small vat of Aragokis.
No, it was in the vat, 60 quid a fish.
Yes, yeah, really lovely fish, mate. Yeah,
there was only one in there. I'm surprised.
That was a standout to me. To me, that was a standout piece in there.
Yeah,
you know, I love Achiba anyway, but you know that's half the reason I'm a bit biased.
What did you think to the vat of the Aragokis? For me, those were the only ones that I would have said, nah, I think. Well, it's just they weren't for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean they aren't for anybody else. Or somebody won't think, wow. But there were some nicer ones earlier on when I went back to have another look. Most of them ones have gone now, but there were some nice ones. But
There
I
was a
think when
couple
you
of genuine ones in there.
exactly, that's the ones that I did like. Them ones, the massive Aragoki scales that were getting rid, they look wicked.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand them. But
Yeah,
some of us were a bit.
Yeah, but they're personal. They're quite personal taste,
Exactly.
bitch. To
It
be
is,
fair,
it is, yeah, 100%.
you know,
But that's what makes it all different, mate, isn't it? Because everybody likes something different. That's what everybody.
they're also
Well,
a very hard fish to judge if you was to show them
Mhm.
as well, because
Well, what category would they go into? They would go into the
Warimono.
correct.
Kawari Mono, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like how do you put that up against the others in that group? You know, it's
Mhm.
like I was speaking to Alan. I said, you know, where's the standard for it? And there fucking isn't one. So
Somebody said, how's the EA planter doing? The EA planter, and you got and you got like an easy pod.
to me, yeah,
That you haven't done over yet. Apparently, people have been suggesting you use it as a planter.
me. No, I don't. I don't.
No,
mate.
no. People have been suggesting that you should use it as a planter and put some aces in it instead. Because you haven't put it up on yet.
I've only got 36 of them, 36 aces, man. I don't need any more. In fact, I bought 3 the other day or yesterday.
Oh no, it's Shrewsbury. No, sorry, I'm lying. It's Shrewsbury Coy that's got the planter. That people have said like you use it as a planter for his.
Yeah, it's been sat on his patio for the last 6 weeks, hasn't it?
Oh, right, got you. So it might as well be a plant pot light.
Yeah.
You've got 2 aces. They were meaning that you should use that one, but I've got 2 people mixed up.
Yeah, man.
DT Kai says you need a real bonsai. Capital letters, DT, are just for the questions, mate. Stop being special and shouting at people. Right, we have got a couple of questions, so we might as well kick it. In fact, actually, Vince, this is one for you first, but I know the answer anyway to one of part of it. Question for Vince and anyone else on the panel that may know anything about airlifts. You're the man for the airlifts because I don't know. I mean, I've seen the principle and how it works, but I'm looking at adding a backy shower. Right, this is a bit, mate, which I can answer for you. If you want it to do what you're doing, it won't be a backy shower. It'll be a trickle tower. I'm looking at adding a backy shower to my pond, but don't want that to add another pump and its running costs. Would an airlift work to supply a backy shower? Because I'm considering splitting an air and going to the bottom drain to an airlift backy shower. Well, it would work, but it won't be a backy shower because a backy shower requires, I think,
larger volumes of water,
larger volumes of water, and you need to be shifting like 20,000 litres an hour for a backy shower, ideally. So
I have seen videos that have got airlifts that run up to, I don't think, about 15 foot high, but they're so intricate to get them to lift that high. You'll find most airlift systems.
Alan Tate is ringing him.
Yeah, you'll find most airlift systems running 4-inch.
And you can only lift it a low amount with an airlift. You can move a lot of water, but not very high. So your shower's going to be about that.
Yeah, so you're not going to end up with. Well, actually, I mean, to get it to lift it high, Vince, you're talking 6-inch diameter pipe, aren't you? And bigger to move that volume of water. You can shift it, but the scale that you've got to go up to, mate, you'd be better off and cheaper running a smaller pump, another pump.
I mean, the eco ones, they're brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got 2 10,000 litre an hour pumps, and full chat they're using 80 watts a piece.
Yeah, some of them even lower wattage than that, aren't they? So your air pump's going to be more wattage
down to like 60 watts, 40, 60 watts, can't you? Which is as much as an air pump would be anyway. So the running costs are no different. Yeah.
There you go.
But even if you did, unless you got it pushing out of, up to the realms of 20,000 litres an hour, then technically it's not a backy shower, because a backy shower has to have it crashing over it, cascading over it in high volumes. The lower the volume, less than 10,000 litres an hour, it is then classed as a trickle shower anyway, not as a backy shower.
Yeah.
So, yes and no, no and yes.
Did he not answer your traffic?
Sorry, mate. I was reading the
Did he
comment.
not answer?
No,
he did say it'd be available later on, like he'd got something he were doing and it'd be on kind of later on. So.
He said that he was going to be on at 8:30, so I was just waking him up, to be honest, mate, because he's probably up his little snooze.
You might just off in chair, having a power nap.
Yeah, like that. You know, one of them where it's like, not asleep, my eyes are just shut. You know,
just resting my eyes.
That's the one. That's what my old man used to say.
Yeah,
while he was
proper old man snooze.
Technically, I'm allowed one of them myself now, being a granddad. I can have a granddad now. Every now and again. Right, the next question we've got is from Peter. Do you think that the way that people are treating their ponds as they do, you think they are lowering the fish's natural antibodies and immune systems and wildlife bringing in diseases? I've recently got duckweed in my pond and I don't know where it's come from. So do you think that the stuff that we're using, the treatments that we use is low? There's a couple of questions there. The treatments that we're using in the ponds is lowering the fish's immune system.
No.
Making them less resilient.
It will make resistant parasites and such, like we're having problems with it. So I had to go to Learn X Pro, isn't it, for the flukes? Keep repeated use of the same meds. They get resistant to it, don't they?
Yeah, that's probably the fish, though, isn't it?
He does it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the duckweed's going to come in. Well, probably on a duck or a bird. That's where that's or a net or a bit of vegetation.
Or something that you brought in that might have had a little bit rooted in one of its pots or something like that. If you've got another ornamental pot in there.
I've got a water butt that he's just grown in naturally, and that water butt has never the duckweed's been growing that water butt before I even did ponds. So that's just arrived there naturally somehow.
Seeded.
Yeah, whatever. Blown in the wind.
You only need one sprout of duckweed, and then within a week it's covered your pond. And I don't know why people buy it online, like by the pint for a tenner.
Yeah, nightmare stuff.
Yeah. So the duckweed could have come there and arrived naturally, mate. Or if you've got any other plants that had a small section of rooting that were in there that was from anything else, where maybe they pulled the top of the sprig out that wasn't what was visible, but left the root in, that could have grown if you brought perhaps maybe a lily or something like that.
I'd rather have duckweed than blanket weed.
Yeah, true. At least that one's easier than the other one. Well, yeah, I don't know. Duckweed does get out of hand pretty damn quick if you leave it, don't it? I mean, raking a pond to get rid of that stuff is an absolute bastard nightmare. But at least with blanket weed, you can literally just launch in some product as long as you get it before it becomes 16-foot long, Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, don't count your chickens, mate. I tell you, when you put your new pond together, mate, it's like I literally just had the biggest algae bloom I've ever had, and it come out of nowhere. Fuck me, man. What did I put in? Barley or extract. I managed to get some, and mate, I tell you, the algae was evil once it worked its magic. It's got that bad that even the floor of my pond's hairy.
Yeah.
All the fish shit's just caught. I was like, got a bottom drain. Oh yeah, fucking algae everywhere, just like stopping the waste going down the drain.
It all throngs down to the fucking bottom drain, doesn't it? Yeah, I know exactly where you come from. I dealt with that last year.
A normal coverage of algae should be much more than 5 to 6 mil, and that's an average covering on every pond that we should ideally keep and want. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
When you get that boom and it starts to grow, when mine starts to get to about an inch in length and I start seeing it waving as fish are swimming over it, that's when I treat. Gone straight away. I've never had it bloom in my pond. I've never had it get any longer than that because I've never left it long enough to get longer than that.
Guys, it literally come out of nowhere, mate. It just
well, it apparently can grow some stupid amounts.
Yeah,
inches, in inches, 5 to 6 inches over a matter of days, which is.
Mate, I've been fishing on a lake, and the sun's come over the lake, and no word of a lie, you just see it start to grow in the water over the day. It just keeps it. It's just so fast growing.
It's
sometimes
one of the fastest growing ones, isn't it?
Do you not have problems in your lakes, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
How do you deal with it on such a large scale, though?
Depends on, in the mud ponds, you put the fish in, kick the clay up, cuts out the light, kills off the blanket weed.
Oh, yeah,
In the liner ponds, if we have to, we'll use clover leaf blanket answer. It's the only thing. So we try to avoid it, but yeah, it's just something that you occasionally have to do because fry and blanket weed.
They get caught in it, don't they? It's not good.
You can't harvest them. So when we need to be able to harvest them and grade them. If it's blanket weed, you no chance. Yeah. So
I remember when I was helping out at Cuttlebrook, and it wasn't just blanket weed. There was another. I can't remember what the weed was called, but
as well. That's even finer.
You'd go into the ponds with the waders on, and you got like a bit like a scythe that you run across the bottom of the pond, and then it all floats to the surface, and then you got to gather it all up, tweak it onto the side. Oh yeah, it's not easy being a koi farmer.
No,
that's the sort of.
It gets bubbles in it and floats up to the top in big lumps. Horrible stuff.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. We get a particular one that grows like a hexi mesh, and I'm not joking. You that hexi mesh you buy, tiny, and the fish get gill netted in it, and it's blanket weed that grows as this weird hexagon meshed sheets, and the fry you just walk along, and it's loads of gill netted fry.
I tell you, I made a mistake. I put some goldfish in a tank that got blanket.
Oh,
yes,
we lost him.
50p in the meter.
He mentioned goldfish. We cut him off.
Goldfish, goldfish talking. It does. We can do butterfly coyotes as far as we go, but if you're going to start talking goldfish, mate, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
Can we do that where butterfly coy are concerned as well?
No.
Hey, and he's back. Daz. Come in, Daz. Colin, awesome. Come in, awesome. Nanu.
Now you're showing your age.
Can't hear us.
Well, you might know that one. You there, Daz? Can you hear us? Are you back?
Bit of Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, right. Great program that. Daz, we can see you don't take your top off and start stripping her out weird or random now.
Imagine if he dropped his camera down there and he was sat in his birthday suit, like, because he's just like literally a massive head, isn't he? Every time. Look.
Daz.
He's in and out.
Drop out, come back in again.
You know why he does that, Crafty? It's so he doesn't look as short as he is.
Yeah, I'll come. To be fair, Vince, a lot of people said to me they expected you to be bigger, mate.
I know. That was the first thing Alan said to me. He said, I actually thought you were taller. It's like, what the hell?
5'2".
It is, mate. 5'2", 5'8".
He's having some kind of an issue, so we'll try and see if we can get himself back in again. Hopefully, he can get back in because I didn't ban him, I just kicked him. Hopefully, he can reconnect.
But yeah, the upshot is blanket weed is a nightmare, isn't it? There is, yeah. But the blanket answer stuff seems to work pretty good. So controlling.
I've not had it fail yet, but I always
nukes the shit out of your pond.
Eh?
I said just nukes the shit out of your pond.
Well, nukes the shit out of the blanket weed. Drubs, if you're trying to run soft water, it don't work. You've got basically you put so much calcium in.
It doesn't do any damage to anything else. It's inert, isn't it? So it's an inert product.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is. They never really want to tell you, do they?
No.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
I tell you what it's good at. I don't really tell you what the effects are of using it, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, use it sparingly. That's
there we go, Dad. Are you back? Can you hear us, Daz?
Yes, I can. It all went quiet. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You've been slapped around head with a trifle for a minute. You were like that.
Yeah, what I said before, I had some telescope eye goldfish, black moors. Oh my god, I got blanket weed in with them, and it got wrapped around the eyes. Not good. Took me. I kept having to. It took me about 3/4 of an hour to untangle one. Absolute nightmare. Pull too hard and you'll cut through the eye. Ooh.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Even worse, if you've got a sturgeon in the pond,
See,
they're forever getting caught in it.
Yeah.
Dad is a master breeder of blanket algae.
Oh yes.
I mean,
there's ever a
I've seen him empty his main pond before.
when he netted that main pond, when he measured him up over here, and he was literally giving it this, and then when he pulled his arm out, he wrapped around his hand like in a big. It turned his hand into a giant tennis racket, big green lump on the end of his arm. Like, God damn, it proper grew like mad in there, didn't it? This year, fish. It's like it were a bit cooler end of season. Like fish were wrapping themselves up in it. Funny.
Yeah.
Right then, so we'll just whiz through a couple more. Fenland Lasses, Gaz, the Gaz Koi Pond. It was lovely, a lovely day on Sunday. We fully enjoyed ourselves. It was absolutely brilliant. John Cope says evening, everyone. Gary Webb says evening.
God, Harry, Simon.
I'll try to speed through a few. There's a link should anybody else want to join us this evening. It's pinned to the top of the comments, guys, if anybody wants to jump on with us.
I saw Terry in the comments there, chasing koi. Come and join us, Terry.
Oh, knock, knock. Come and jump on.
I really feel sorry for Terry because he got called away Sunday.
Yeah,
that's why he disappeared. He ended up having to go and rescue some horses.
Yeah.
Horse trouble.
Yeah.
He put his next video that he dropped was horse trouble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Saskia says she's dreading doing the fiberglass. Don't have to be right, honestly. A couple of videos and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Watch what everybody else does. And not necessarily videos on how to fiberglass a pond. Because at the end of the day, fiberglass in anything is the same as fiberglass in anything. If it's a ceiling, a flat surface, whatever it is, it's all the same application. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pond.
Fiberglass in itself is the easy bit. It's getting the flow coat right is the bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Vince.
Well, you get bits of shit in it, don't you? Now, I'll give you a tip, right? And it's probably one that nobody else will tell you. You can get these things, which is called a tack rag. It's what the panel beaters and paint sprayers use. It's purposely designed to pick up all those bits of shit. So if you go to any body shop, vehicle body repairers, get yourself 4 or 5 tack rags. They come in about a meter sheet and they open it up, fold it up into a decent sort of like A4 size, rub it around the surface area, then go over with some standard thinners or panel wipe, which is cellulose thinners, panel wipe. Give it a good wipe back, rip it back, and then go acetone, same thing. Then go back and do this again over with the tack rag. You will find you will have no bits of shit inside there, unless any foreign objects fall in prior to you actually doing it. But a tack rag is what you need to get rid of those little fine bits of crap. And I don't think I've ever seen a single fiberglass show that I use that, but that's what's needed.
I've never seen fiberglasses use a tack rag, actually.
You have?
I haven't.
You haven't, yeah. But
I've watched quite a few videos.
Yeah, yeah. It's what you use in the paint spraying industry.
Yeah, so it's the same principle, isn't it?
Nibs in your paint finish, because once you've got a bit of shit in a carbonic vehicle door, whatever, you've got to knock that back then with some superfines, and then you've got a G3, polish it all back up and buff it back up to get rid of it. So rather than having to go through the process of de-nibbing and polishing back up, we use a tack rag to remove them. It's a real sticky cloth, but everything will stick to it and it'll lift it all and pull it all away. Really good. So all for that out, so. Right then.
No.
Don't dread it. Just have a go. Worst case scenario, you're going to have to
rub it down and do it again.
That's it.
I've had to do that with the Bonsai tank.
Yeah.
I had to rub it all back and then reflow coat it. And honest to God, I felt like I'd done 12 rounds of Mike Tyson after doing that flow coat. You really do have to give it a bit of fucking welly to get it to move.
You've got to work fast as well.
It's thick stuff. It's a thick product, isn't it? It's really, You've really got to put some pressure on. There you go, Vince. I'll bring that one up for you, mate.
Nice one, Scotty.
There we go. Right, we've got a question from the audience, but what's the coolest temperature koi can handle during winter months? Shout out from across the pond, North Virginia, USA. Thank you very much for joining us, Elizabeth. That's cool. Look, a lovely looking horse as well. The coolest temperature koi can handle during winter months.
What they can handle and what you want to expose them to are probably different.
Two different things.
Two different things. Yeah. Decent level koi. You don't want to be dropping below about 12 degrees if you can help it.
If you can help it. Yeah, we've got Stubbsy from Stubbs Aquatics. He's over in Canada, and his pond freezes over about almost a foot thick in the winter, and his koi come out in winter absolutely fine.
Yeah. Does he get that minus 40 or something crazy?
Minus 40, yeah. Minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, that is, though, not Celsius. Minus 40 degrees, but that's still goddamn cold.
Yeah.
Very cold. And his fish came all the way through. But this is the reason, though, why he's actually going deeper and bigger with the pond.
Yeah, it was just over 4 foot. He's taking it to 6.
Yeah, to give him more of a deeper chamber area for him to settle off down to.
But to let his pond freeze, he's can't have any filtration running. So
all he has running is a couple of headstones on one end to make sure that there is a hole kept.
And he has a de-icer system that he uses that he puts on the top of ice to allow that airstone area to gas off. He puts something in, doesn't he? Sure, he had like a little dome cap over top of it to keep it warm and stop that 1 point from freezing up.
But that's just to keep them alive, and at the end of the day, they survived. They're not. Yeah, it's not
that's
what they want to be.
Yeah, they're not thriving, are they? They're not thriving in that conditions. They're literally just getting by.
Yeah.
So ideally, you want to be keeping them at 10 degrees if you can. But if they're from Yorkshire, they'll get down to about 2 to 3 degrees and come through like double hard bastards and not even sweaty. You're on about it's that cold in summer over here. So that's one thing I wanted to mention though. Seriously, last week, 22 degrees, Sunday and Saturday, my pond were up to 14 degrees. Is it today? 14 degrees. That's one hell of a drop from 22. Yeah. And they're all like that again. Yeah, still summer. This is still summer here. But still swimming around, cruising around. Not feeding like they were, but they're still cruising around everywhere.
You also find certain varieties react. Shiratsuri, showers, they hate the cold in a way that, you can have ogons and chagoi swimming around feeding at 5 degree water temperature, looking for food, and the better inbred varieties dying off. They just hate it.
Yeah.
So depends what you're going to keep.
Well, depends what you're keeping. Ideally, they don't want to be getting to low temperatures. I mean, I'm laughing and joking with that, but really, it's not good for them to be at low temperatures as low as that. I'd love to be able to afford to heat the pond and keep them warmer. Then they would all thrive and keep growing. But then again, the more heat you give them, the more heat they're under, the quicker they grow, the faster you expand the lifetime, and the shorter the life becomes.
To a point. You're not worried about that.
I'm not going to worry about that, is for sure. Mine should live to about 150. Should.
What's that? Double-hard bastard.
It's that junkie. My junkie. He'll live forever. That thing's nuts. Mick Lawson said, "Will Rick do?" I guess I know.
Asagi really.
As a Gary in the future.
It's Azakari.
Azakari, not.
There's no G in it.
No G in it. So Azagari, but Azakari in the future. Would you consider it, Rick?
Not depending on where the fish are going. Vince has got some with us, so it already happens to a point. But putting fish out in our mud ponds, too many don't come back as they should, which isn't a problem. So it's not something.
I dispute that. I haven't got one in the pond growing on, Susan has.
All right, Susan got.
Was that the
Detail,
really nice
detail.
one as well?
The Kahaku, yeah.
That's nice.
Again, that's not in a mud pond. It's in a safe pond, should we say? So yeah, we would do it, but if I do it, it would only be in more like Ricky at Koi Wholesale do it in an environment where I know they're safe and going to come back.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, the Benny might fail, but the fish are still there. It's not like off you go to a mud pond and hope.
Take your chances.
Hope. Yeah. We have a few more predators about than we'd like. So,
yeah.
So you're saying yes, but no.
It's something we do in the future, yeah. We have done it. We've done it before, but years ago we did it for people. But yeah, it's just for the few that don't come back, then you have to find new fish, replace them, keep everyone happy. And before you know it, it just wasn't worth doing in the first place. So,
But let's say, for example, Rick, if I come down and I found one and I thought, that's a damn nice one. Is there any chance that you could put that in there at my own risk? Would you be prepared to do it?
Potentially, but it depends on where you've seen it. If that makes sense.
Well, obviously, in one of your vats.
So most of the stuff that goes back to the mud ponds doesn't come up into the shop because then you had a whole new biosecurity issue.
Right. So for example, if we were down there and lucky enough to be able to select something or see something prior to it coming into the shop, then you could say, "Oh, I like that. Can I have that? Can it go back in there for another?"
Stick it out. Yeah, I mean, can it go back out for another year or go into a? Yeah, there's always never say never to anything. There's always but once obviously the shop is
Fondle is.
Yeah. To be fair, we don't charge a lot for anything, so we'd end up giving you money back on it. Here's your fish back.
Truthfully, you don't. Though. Truthfully, you really don't. Your fish are very well priced. It's just a 600-mile trip to get there.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, we enjoyed it, didn't we? We enjoyed his drive down. It weren't too bad.
It was. It flew by, to be honest.
It did. Laughing and joking, mate, all the way, weren't we?
Yeah.
Right then. Let's see if we can get on to. Well, there was we kind of dipped away from his question a little bit. So there is no lowering of the fish's natural antibodies. I mean, first of all, Japanese koi or koi are a natural fish that are hybrid. So there is an element to it as they aren't natural anyway. So we're not going to be reducing its immune system any more than what selective breeding is doing.
I think that's the problem, isn't it? And that's that's the greatest battle of a koi keeper, isn't it? The better the fish you want, generally, the better the environment you've got to give them.
That kind of selective breeding, yeah. And we all know what happens if you keep selecting and selecting and selecting and putting sets back to sets and so on and so on and so on. Eventually, something's got to give. Patterns might look beautiful, but maybe the immune system
bigger is shite, yeah.
But yeah. So the other bit to your question, mate, which was the duckweed natural, not really so much on lowering the immune system by treatments. The things that we're treating would become more immune to it, same as us taking everyday antibiotics. If we all keep swallowing them every week just for shits and giggles, eventually they don't actually do what they need to do. If we treat and treat and treat, eventually parasites become immune to those treatments and we have to up doses or change doses or use different products. So hopefully that kind of covers your answer, mate. Right, the next one we've got, and there is two that have been added to this, which Seskia's asked. It's kind of a question, kind of a statement. Still seeing a lot of koi with bacterial problems, and I'm hoping that's none of yours. People still feeding a lot of food in this warm weather, but only cleaning the filters once or twice a week. Keep your pond clean and avoid bacterial issues. Alan, what's your opinions on that?
I personally don't. You've got to keep your water quality good, yes, but I have never seen a bacterial issue appear because you've got, you think of how many crappy filters are out there. You don't see bad bacterial problems just erupt because you haven't cleaned your filter. That's a fish-to-fish transmission from an issue or whatever. So water quality is paramount for your fish. Full stop. There's no getting away from that. Whether you've only clean your filter once or twice a week isn't something that mean you're going to have a big bout of ulcers or something occur in it. That's just not going to be the issue. If you make if you don't stay on top of the filters and the water has a problem, your ammonia creeps up, you'll stress the fish, and you could encourage whatever problems are there, be it parasite, be it bacteria, you're stressing them, and you'll cause knock-on effect from that. But you're not going to, if you've got, prime example, if we've got a batch of completely sterile fish in the hatchery that, we've done completely sterile, it doesn't matter what you could turn the water so bad that it kills them, but you're not going to create a bacterial problem like that they're talking about. So on one hand, yes, she's right. You should, if you're doubling your food, then you've got to be twice deal with whatever you're doing with your filtration. But just having a clogged bit, and this goes back. Was it Simon up North Coypond? I was chatting with him one day. He was kicking himself about a bit of clogged K1 in his filter, and obviously pointing his problems with bacterial problems to that one little isolated dirty patch of filtration. It might not help, but that is not the root cause of what he's suffering. I mean, his pond is as spotless and as clean, it's cleaner than any single pond we've got on our entire farm. It's not that that's caused this problem. The problems come in somewhere else, somewhere along the line, and it's just manifesting itself every time a temperature's in a window where that bacteria is thriving. And that's it's one of those.
So most kind of bacterial issues are always introduced via something foreign. Yeah,
basically. I mean, you could have a pond where you've had a problem, but you've got over it. But if you let the water quality deteriorate to a point you're overfeed and whatever, you can kick it off again. But it's got to be there. It can't just It's like saying, "Oh, my filters the oxygen level's gone low. The filters are crap, and I've now got KHV that's appeared." It can't just appear; it has to be there. And it's the same. A virus can't just appear. A particular strain of bacteria don't just appear. Yes, you can already have it in your pond, and if your pond's at the right temperature and it's super clean, you can get away with it. And then if you let the pond deteriorate, it can manifest and cause a problem because you're stressing the fish, you're lowering its immune system, you're kicking that issue off.
A bit like pneumonia in people. People can have the pneumonia in them, the germ, but under certain conditions, it manifests itself.
You stress someone enough, it'll come out. Yeah. But most koi ponds, there's plenty of anaerobic and dirty parts of the filtration, and you think your pond's running fine, but even in a sort of shower filter or a backy shower, there's areas where crap builds up and whatever, but it's not going to cause any major problems. And you've only got to look at a mud pond. I mean, our mud ponds run on mud, kicked up, the bacteria living on the mud. It's the most sort of, you would say on one hand, unhygienic place it can be. They're living in their own crap and it's all being processed in the water, but the fish, that's the natural environment. And also your filters just replicating that in a controlled manner where you can keep the water nice and clear and see your fish or whatever. It's same sort of thing. So she's right in the fact that if you're going to double your food during the weeks, you've got a week off and the sun's out, then you've got to watch your water quality. And you don't have to be crazy about it, but you've still got to be aware of what you're doing. But I think the bacterial problems that keep popping up on YouTube are all fish-related problems. We're seeing it now because it's spring and the water temperatures just come up and hit a window in most people's ponds where it used to be called Aeromonas alley. That sort of 15, 18 degrees when those types of bacteria thrive, and your fish's immune system is not as active and as up as it should be. So if you could just turn a switch and turn your pond to 25 degrees, then you probably bypass that potential window. But those problems are there. You just, by not cleaning your filter 1 week, it's not suddenly going to manifest itself if it isn't there.
I don't need to. I'm just putting this one up just because Amanda's asked. She said a backy shower needs 20,000. What's the performance at 10,000? Which you say is a trickle tower. Well, There you go, Si. Thank you very much, mate. That pretty much answers the question 100%. Amanda Smith, high flow shower provides oxygen, which encourages aerobic bacteria. Low flow showers encourages anaerobic bacteria, which is, they both serve a different purpose, but that is the difference between a trickle and a shower. Backy shower and a trickle shower.
They've both got a place, to be fair. Simon's on, you see that? He's there. But yeah, Aeromonas and Pseudomonas that cause the real nasty bacterial problems, they will live in both anaerobic and aerobic conditions. So, you know, if they're there at the right temperature zone and there's a fish that's weak enough, then that's when you'll see the problems. And yeah, apart from the right antibiotics, if you could ever get them, which as people are finding out, that's pretty much impossible. So all you can do is really take the koi out of the temperature zone that's a problem. So if you could keep them cold or hot, then you'd have less of an issue. But that issue is still in the pond, and you've got to deal with that. Get the fish's immune system to be able to deal with that. So that's ideally, don't get it in your pond in the first place.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. That's just... Anyone else?
Message for Seska there from Koi Beginnings. Evening all. I would like to. I wouldn't say fiberglass is easy. Just break it down into smaller sections. That's it, man. Yeah. Do more smaller manageable amounts each time. And if in doubt, mix less of the product in case you can't get it done without it flashing off and going off beforehand. And do it in stages. Do one wall, leave it a day. Do the next wall, leave it a day. Do another wall, leave it a day. Do the next wall, leave it a day. Do the base last, whichever. However you want to do it to make it easy for yourself. Not everybody's fast enough to go around it and do it all in one hit. It's
one thing I did learn when we were doing the post-eye tank is temperature is key.
Yeah, do it on a cooler day, but a dry day. And you don't want a high moisture content there either. You want it so it's relatively low moisture content.
The sweet spot is around 15 degrees.
Yeah. And if it starts pushing up to 20s and 30s, 24 degrees, 25 degrees, don't even bother because it'll flash off that quick that it'll be cured in your tub before you even got a quarter of it on. And you just be throwing.
You'll end up wasting money.
Get plenty of rollers, plenty of roller heads, and you're good to go. But the other one, again, cellulose thinners will clean off and dissolve any of the product before it's cured. So you can clean those roller heads and get them ready to go. And the cellulose thinners, which is a product called standard thinners, will also evaporate off and dry back out so you can use that roller time and time again. You don't have to wang them in bin. You can clean them, but it's a messy job. Sometimes it's easy just to whip the head off, put a new one and go again.
That's what I found.
Yeah, it is, because you end up with
plenty of buckets because you're going to go through them as well.
Yeah, just buy the cheaper disposable throwaway ones, and that way then it's not costing you a fortune.
And get disposable gloves as well.
Yeah, lots of.
Yeah, I tell you what, they might work out a little bit more expensive for a box of them, but there's some gloves that my brother-in-law uses. He's a heating engineer, and Black Mamba, I think they're called, and they are absolutely phenomenal gloves to use. They're ones that takes a lot to actually tear the fingers on them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it work out about £20 a box, but they're well worth it, especially if you're doing a job like that.
Yeah,
100%. Sorry, and everybody else that don't like him, but we have a question from Yorkshire Koi that says, I've got a question regarding butterfly koi. And sorry, Vince, is it possible to get butterfly koi based on ghost carp and then Japanese koi? I noticed a big price difference.
Yes, it is. So you get they're quite a good seller actually, the ghost butterflies or longfin. Japanese do it better. You go to a breeder. Suda is the breeder of butterfly koi over in Japan, and he's fantastic at it. I know Vince don't like them, and I know that their pet fins look like twiglets with hairs and broken arms and stuff, but believe it or not, they're one of the best sellers in the shop. They go out, they come in and go out so quick. it's unreal. And getting a good quality one is really difficult.
Why?
Alan, man, it's just woke up. Just woke up.
It's all the same, Vince.
He just got back to the pub, and he.
Alan message there. He says, "Crafty, get your rendering done on your pond."
Mate, I ain't rendering me pond. Me brother is. You know what I mean? If I render it by trade, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, Alan, he's too busy playing with his missus's chicks.
That's right. But yeah, so the Japanese do it better than the ghost koi. The reason for that is merely down to the fact that they're easily seen when you start getting all the different varieties of the butterfly koi. So not only that, but they get big. They get big quick. Actually, I've got one in my pond, or the missus has, and I tell you what, it's shot like no other. Oh, that's a nice bug, Alan.
This guy's gone far away today.
Yeah, he's got his wide.
Alan, don't you know how to use landscape mode?
Look at that! I see you.
There ain't even anything in it. It's like Ricky Stoddart. Oh, this is a nice brew. Nothing in it.
Alan's sporting the new Mark II Twisted Koi mug. Yes, boy.
How you doing, Alan? I hear you're quite partial to a couple of butterflies.
Is that Horlicks?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, I really love bloody butterfly koi.
Yeah. We'll pick you now.
Alan used to judge them in Holland. He had to judge them, didn't he, mate?
Yeah. It was all the 30 seconds.
How do you judge a butterfly koi then, Alan?
Shut your eyes.
Quickly.
Point. End of.
I mean, I personally think they're abominations, but, and I say but because I have actually seen one that even though it had long fins, it still had that roundness to the fin shape. It didn't look all tatty and
that's the thing, Vince. A butterfly
to be honest,
and a long fin's different.
The gentleman who owns it, he actually said to me he went through 8 other butterfly koi from the same breeder to get to that one.
Yeah. I would have given up after the first one.
Yeah, me too, Alan.
What people don't know is that Alan has actually got a pond full of them, built specifically for butterfly koi.
In your dreams, Crafty Bobby.
Yeah.
Is it rendered though?
No.
Well, I think.
Have you not got a cup of tea there, Gaz?
He's eating his trifle.
I'm eating my trifle.
I am going to just have a quick.
It's going to get a brew.
Yeah.
Gaz, you're bored.
I noticed that when somebody asks you a question,
people can't read what's on the bottom of there.
they can if I bring it in close. I noticed you said that to someone when they disagreed with your opinion, and you turned around and said, "Is there any more questions?" And somebody said something, you went, "Get out, you're bad."
Yeah.
You're pretty good. I proper enjoyed it, Alan, on Sunday, wasn't it? On Sunday last week. Just got
it was good. Yeah.
Really did have a good day. Proper enjoyed it.
Just joined the group sport.
What was your take on the event?
Yeah, it was a good day. Nobody took themselves seriously. We all had fun. Even Crafty was funny for a change.
Yeah.
So where's he gone? He's hiding again.
He's chasing chickens.
Yeah, chasing his chicks around his living room.
Yeah.
He's got a box
not his chicks, though.
They've all been hatching. He's been hatching out some. Oh, hang about. Was that another skeg? Twisted koi cup there. Oh, hang about.
They're everywhere, aren't they?
Huh?
Cheers, Vince.
Got an original.
See, There's three people here that have a twisted koi mug. Only one has a Mark 1 out of the three, but there is two that have the new Mark 2.
I'm going to have to get some made. I've never done any merch for anyone ever. Tight as arseholes.
Yeah, you've always been a tight kid. Can't even get your rendering done.
Honestly, Crafty.
I can't believe you put your new.
Where's he gone?
I mean, he puts his new aces in front of him to hide the rendering. Jesus Christ.
It's true.
Is that what he's doing? He's placing 452 aces all the way around his pond so you can't see the renderings missing.
There ain't no rendering.
Yeah, but it's like the crocus. The crocus stones he put into the glass. Really? Bed them on, you tight git.
No, Rome weren't built in a day, Al. Know what I mean?
We'll have to start calling them Arthur.
You've been on nearly 2 years.
Not the cheek. 7 months.
Yeah, he's right. You have almost been going 2 years.
I had a break when I had a mental breakdown. You've got to give me a bit of leeway. It takes a long time to come back from the darkness, you know.
Never.
Any
Time to render then, isn't there?
Any excuse.
Plenty of time to get the rendering done.
My brother's a no renderer. I ain't going to do it, mate. And neither's he, to be fair. I'll be waiting 2 years for him to get around here.
True. Alan, on Sunday, what was your highlight?
highlight?
Judging those things.
Just overruling Ricky on a regular basis.
Yeah. Every chance he could.
No, I enjoyed the whole day. I think everybody enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
Because the camaraderie between everybody was superb. And you'll all learn the Koi Talk team don't take ourselves seriously. We enjoy the banter between each other and then sharing knowledge.
Are we going to let the cat out of the bag, Alan, me and you? Because me and you technically know that Ricky's actual final choice of fish that he picked was totally different to what he wrote down in that book you had in your hand, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got the evidence.
Sorry, Rick, but it was.
It was.
We're not like it.
I've got the evidence to prove he agreed with the judge. Yeah. And I'll get them framed, blown up and framed.
The truth shall set you free, Rick. Sorry, mate. He changed his official. Well, he's wrote out one to his official one, and then he went with the number one, which was number 2 fish.
Yeah.
What was your number one? That was your number one, the first place.
The Maritime. Yeah, the Maritime was number 1.
Yeah, but that was head and shoulders above the others. That was easy.
Yeah.
So
how old was that fish?
2.
Was it sentai?
Yeah, it'd been this side.
One hell of a lot of size on that way. There was a good fish. 50, what it 55 cm?
Yeah, Ricky manages to get phenomenal growth on his fish. Considering the small ponds he has. Even the stankies that were there at the weekend were only in 1,500 gallon. And there's 100 fish in there, 110 fish in there. And he still gets phenomenal growth.
Sorry.
He actually had more than that in there. Because
he
ran out of space in all of his other ponds for other fish that was coming over. And he had to put some other fish in there as well. And when I was at the farm, I kid you not, the water, as it was in the pond, looked deep red. It looked like red wine was in there. It was that heavily stained. And I see the sample when he pulled it out in the bag, and it looked like piss, didn't it? You know, it was so, you know, obviously with a black background and whatnot. I walked past and I said, "What have you done to that?" They said, "Heavy feeding."
Yeah, heavy feeding.
No way. Absolutely no way. You know, and Yeah, well, put it this way, man. As a lot of people have actually commented on those fish and the sizes Ricky have got to me personally. And they're saying, how could they achieve that in their own ponds? You know, my response to that is it's bloody difficult.
Yes.
Because, you know, you're not going to go through the same schedule that Ricky does on a feeding scale that he does. Because number one, you need to be there in case the water crashes. And he has got people walking around that farm all day, every day. So, you know, they see that fish, even if they're not looking in the pond, they will know if that pond's working or not just by walking past it. You know, I know that. You'll know that as well, Rick, as you walk past, you know, just subconsciously you pick up on what a pond's doing and what the fish are doing in it. But you could never do that in your own garden pond. Not to the extent that Ricky does.
No, but he's running them at proper temperature with the right, that stock level. They're competing, just pushing each other along, and you can just wind them right up. But a normal pond, even if you had the right temperature, you got such a low stock density, they don't actually want to feed in the same way. So he's farming them. Most people were keeping them. It's different. This is different. But it's quite a fine line. That's the trouble. Honestly, you've got to push them, but your stock density gets too big. You need space to keep splitting them out or whatever to keep them going. And obviously, space is the problem, isn't it? As he's found there, you just got no space left.
I mean, the other thing that I find quite remarkable is the quality he keeps.
Yeah, they look. I was saying to the lads earlier, just all the fish there, what they've just all been through to appear on a day like that, all look that sparkling, that happy. None of them turning pink, sulking. None of the things from our fish, I know what would happen if I'd pushed a load of our fish on and then stuck them in vats for people to go and look at. They'd hate it. They'd either be all jumping out or all trying to hide themselves. And
that's what I've got from the fish that I bought off him. So I bought 35 pieces of Sakai from the same batch. Put them in a pond, man. They just stuck straight to the back. You know, that's 35 fish in a 1,500 litre tank. You know, straight to the back, sulking. It's like, your brothers and sisters weren't doing that at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? They were flashing about, man. I didn't care. You know?
Yeah. It's a skill, isn't it? And at the end of the day, it's a skill growing the fish, but it's also a skill knowing how to prepare them to show them as like Alan would say, if someone knows how to take a fish to a show and actually make it look good at the show, that's another skill. And it's getting fish used to being handled, getting fish used to being in tanks, shallow water, all that messing about of them actually trains them into taking it a lot better. Years ago, we used to farm the fish. We'd put them out in the mud ponds. Literally, the first time they hit a tank and saw people was when they come into the shop, literally, and you'd harvest them, put them in there, and oh my God, you just the stress they went through. And obviously 30 years ago, we didn't know any different. We've got mud ponds and we've got sales tanks. There wasn't any other process. And then slowly we started moving them into systems where they spend time, obviously get used to people, become hand tame, and suddenly you move them into the shop and they're different fish, totally different fish. And obviously the more they're used to being graded, the more they're handled, the more they see people, the less predators they see. They just become, just much happier in that environment, but they're trained to be kind of in that environment as they do out in Japan. They spend so much time in fish houses and with people walking past them and they're racing up and down to see people. They become used to that kind of environment. But I'll take them out after all those fish there Sunday, but all of the growing, pushing to get them starved and back into vat to look like that. Hats off to them, to Chris, to Joe, to Ricky, to the whole crew. Did good job. And to be all of exclusively fish look pucker as well. There wasn't a ropey looking fish to be found anywhere. It was nice.
Not one.
Yeah. There's some ropey old judges knocking about though.
There was a couple of old weird old blokes, weren't there?
Northern blokes with goggles on and stuff, man. Weird.
Oh, there was one knuckle dragging Northern, wasn't there?
Which one was that? It's not fair. Alan's just come on and he's just getting abused.
Alan, are you getting called a knuckle dragging Northerner? Or is he
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. From that bloody little hobbit.
Hey, I'm not as little as that one below me.
Yeah. Well, he's just a dwarf.
I just come in for a quick second. I've got one. Dave's Fish Emporium. You've said you've put in a question, but I can't find it. So if you want to ask us a question, mate, type it in capital letters and bang it back in again, mate, and I'll quite happily put it to the panel in the group, providing it's. I haven't seen one that's deleted. It's not in there, and I can't see anything back within the rest of the column. So bang it back in for us again, mate, and I'll put it through. Unless it's one you've already submitted that I just haven't got to yet. Anyway. Right, well, might as well have a couple of questions. Well, we've got a fair few of us here to have a natter and a chat.
Go on, that's all right.
How to spot bacterial issues, whether it by eye or by scope, and then also how to treat. Yeah,
that's a similarity, Gaz. Just put an earring on him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do it again. So
Daz, I wouldn't take that, mate.
I don't think that was Gaz. I don't think that was Daz. I think that was Gaz. See you in a bit. But yeah, we've got. What do you think? How? Well, it's to add to Seska's question that she put through, which was about keeping your ponds clean and avoiding bacterial issues. And Dom 4955 added, to add to this, how to spot bacterial issues, whether by eye or by scope, and then also how to treat bacterial issues.
You can't spot them by scope, can you?
I was just about to say that. I don't think you can find a bacterial issue by scope.
With a microscope, you can. Yeah, you can. But it's by eye. You see bacterial issues, generally red swollen areas, wounds, marks. Yeah, fish quite often will behave quite normally, but yeah, those little telltale signs of angry looking little areas, and yeah, that's kind of thin edges.
I think a lot of people also get
to it too as well, which I'll add to after you've talked over this bit.
I think people also get confused with a bacterial outbreak and ulcers. You know, ulcers aren't the bacteria that everybody thinks. You know, they're ones that literally eat your fish and make them fall to bits within days. You know, ulcers can be treated if they're treated wrong, but the healing process is so long that sometimes people actually over-treat, which then slows down the healing process, because unlike us, fish can't regenerate cuts or abrasions very quickly. So, you know, you have to let it happen. And as long as you see, once you've like swabbed it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but I always work on the fact that if you see like a white ring appear around the ulcer that you've treated, that actually that is already starting the healing process, and then slowly that ulcer will start to heal up. But because it's an open wound, a lot of people tend to go in there all the time, you know, thinking, oh, it's not scabbed over. Well, fish don't scab over, you know. That's the problem. And a lot of people then, I think that where the question comes from is, you know, poor husbandry through not cleaning your filters often enough will result in ulcers. Potentially bacterial outbreak.
I always thought an ulcer was a bacterial outbreak.
Yeah, but not to the extent
not on the sense of this real bad one that we've been kicking around, which is a bloodborne infection, and that's from what.
But you can get ulcers from damage as well, not just bacterial issues.
Where bacteria's got into a cut, a scrape, a flash, a knock, a pulled scale, whatever, and then bacteria gets in there, and then an ulcer's forming.
I mean, my reference was against, bacterial issues that eat your fish inside out, literally gone in days.
Yeah, but that's different. It's like anything, isn't it? If you've got one fish that's damaged and got a bacterial wound, isn't the same as every fish in your pond developing the same wound in the same manner and just and again, your fish husbandry and cleanliness and everything all play a part. But a healthy pond isn't always. I don't want to say a clean pond, but necessarily a sterile pond. You have natural mud ponds where fish will bang themselves, develop a wound, and heal themselves up, and it's got a natural balance to it. It's not clean, but it's good. If that kind of makes sense. And that's and you have other ponds that are so hyper clean that they're nuking the filters and cleaning things and turning the pond. Nothing's got a chance to really have any kind of balance to it. It's just So. It's different, but most bacterial problems, like I say, it's by eye that you'll see them, and quite often the fish will behave fairly normally. Just you'll start to see marks or wounds on them, and at the end of the day, then you need to, take appropriate action. Be it if it is a water quality problem, sort the water quality problem out, and you'll probably sort the fish out. If it's a nastier problem where you have to go in with antibacterial treatments or antibiotics, then that's and you've got to do each thing. If the water's perfect and you're in the temp, you're doing everything you can, then you just isolate each problem at a time. Am
I not right in assuming also that we're talking about the bad one, or when I say this one, that the actual breakout of the ulcer is the latter stage of what's already been going on internally beforehand, and it then ruptures out of the body and turns into a ulceration, and then the rest of it.
You can have fish when you're having those problems. You'll have fish that die with no wounds because the kidneys or the liver, the internal organs are
packing before that stage. Now the reason why I asked, now there's a question that I've been asked by Keith and Paula's Pond. They've had an issue with a fish, and the brief description, they've tested and scraped, they've got no parasites. But they've had a fish that erratically started swimming around in the pond and spinning all over the place, having what they said seemed to look like some kind of a fit, to be then the following morning found dead on the bottom of the pond, with absolutely nothing looking like there was anything wrong with the fish. Has anybody ever experienced anything like that with any of the fish in the fish keeping time that could say what that might be?
Seizure. Stroke.
A seizure, a stroke. A common, as you think?
Totally right. Yeah,
fish will have heart attack, stroke, all sorts of internal problems. That it's not a disease; it's that fish has had an issue. We've had
everything has an end of life cycle, doesn't it? Not everything lives until it's 100. Some die young, some die old, some refuse to die, like Alan.
Well, he is the master of the dark side, so there is that.
Vincent, don't you start.
See the size of his hands. Honestly,
sorry, Mr.
Palpatine. Are massive. Show us your hands out. Look, right slap paddles them.
So, as she was saying then, so the likelihood is, I mean, I've had it in a dog and a cat. I've had a cat that's had a stroke, and I've had a dog that had a stroke. And the effects of that was obviously the dog acting completely strange, completely random. Even the early stages of it was the dog eating only out the left-hand side of its dish, which was what we noticed, and then going down the left-hand side of the garden and not going down the right-hand side of the garden. Erratic behaviour, and then all of a sudden, bang, and we lost it. But we did have a 2-year period where the early stages were the funny bit with the dish and then everything else. So I'm guessing just the same if you fish. I've seen it on somebody else on YouTube as well, on Facebook, and they managed to capture the fish doing it, and it was literally swimming on its side at the surface of the water, and we just round and round and round and round in circles, and then just stopped, done, finished. So I'm guessing it maybe Keith and Paula's have had a similar sort of thing, and it is some kind of stroke, seizure, or whatever, which is end of life for your fish. Then. Never seen it myself.
I will be able to shed more light on that. It's been quite quiet. You need to come in, son. What's your take on it?
You've covered it already.
Good answer.
So Alan's take on that is what they said.
Yeah, but that's good at it. Putting a seal of approval on there is good.
Yeah, that'll do for me. That's right. So next one is the little bit that he added to it afterwards was to add to it further. How can people avoid getting bacterial problems, which we've covered many a time? Quarantining for one. Cleaning filters more regular as a question. Removing waste from their pond floors. Quarantine. Also, does RO water, dechlorinated water, not dechlorinated water play a part in how easy it is to or uneasy for bacterial problems to occur? I think we've pretty much covered all those for you already, mate. So hopefully that's kind of already answered your question.
If you look back at last week's episode, it was covered quite in depth, actually, the bacterial stuff.
RO water, chlorine, dechlorinated water, does it play a part? Does it have a difference? Does it make a difference? Dechlorinating your water, chlorinated water?
Well, anything that stresses the koi is going to cause problems. So just, keep
minimal stress.
You can.
Yeah, keeping your water clean, maintaining your filters regular. Over cleaning is not a good thing because obviously you become sterile, then you bring anything in that they're not used to or it's new to them, then you're making like, what's the MRSA? Is that right?
MRSA, yeah.
That's a bug that's basically been brought into hospitals by basically cleaning the crap out of them so much that it's uncontrollable then because it's immune to it all. So yeah, guessing similar sort of environment with your pond. Overdo it too much, you need to hit that sweet spot. If you're feeding more, increase a bit more. If you're not, then stick with a weekly 1 or 2 cleans.
There we go.
By the summer, my easy pod gets cleaned at least 3 times a week.
You can come to our farm and do some filter cleaning, mate. I don't think our filters have been cleaned in years.
You can come down ours, Vince, if you want. I've only got 60 ponds to clean, mate. Crack on.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what then, Ricky, what we'll do is we'll fit out one of them outbuildings and we'll move in there and then I'll do it daily.
That's what we need.
Voluntary work, mate. It's the best.
I had a room with someone else wants some voluntary work.
Yeah.
Gas, is that right?
Damn right, mate. Yeah, 100%. I will happily come down and do some voluntary work for a small price.
A small donation. I think that was Ricky's words, wasn't it? For a small donation.
Small donation, yeah. That's it. I've got to give him the donation.
Yeah.
If I was lucky to be blessed with 2 cars, then I'd be down there every day if I could afford the fuel.
I said I won't mind buying myself a bike, so I can whip down Daz's right quick, pick up Daz, second helmet on.
Got a pair of feet there, Vince.
Could you just imagine Daz and Daz, like George and Mildred, if a motorbike and sidecar?
Lean, Daz, lean.
Yeah, it's probably come off halfway down.
You'll be eating your trifle.
You mean that's it? That's shoveling down your trifle as you're going down M1 and I'm going down A64. Right, we've got one more question from Gary Robson. Something that was discussed at the Newark at the weekend is nitrate levels when either starting a new pond or coming out of winter. I appreciate that ammonia is not to be tolerated, but how high can nitrates go and what can be done to manage it? On my new pond,
nitrates or nitrite?
Nitrite.
Yeah, nitrate, not the man as nitrite.
Yeah, nitrite. I have gone through the ammonia phase and now have a nitrate phase. I've salted the pond to 0.3 to help the fish. Nitrite.
You can't say it's northern.
Nitrite. Nitrite. Nitrite.
That's it.
That
Spell
one.
it.
I've gone through the ammonia phase, and now have a high level, and I've salted the pond to 0.3 to help the fish. I've tried water changes, but the nitrite remains high. I guess it's just a case of waiting for the nitrifying bugs to grow.
Yeah, catch up.
Or buy some.
So,
Yeah.
buy some.
Or add some mature media, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's products out that you can buy to kick it along.
Filter start gel, etc.
I was listening and talking to quite a few people on Sunday, and I was surprised with the amount of people that actually recommended and used the Bacto Plus PSP. Was it?
No, the PSP is
amazing.
that is a living. That stuff stinks like. That's
With granny's knickers, mate.
What do you expect? It looks luminous pink, for fuck's sakes.
But it's quite easy to make yourself. You don't need to buy that stuff. All you need is a couple of good days of sunshine and a few ingredients that you can find anywhere. You don't need to buy it.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
There are hundreds of videos out there, and it's also been something at one point I was actually thinking about doing myself and producing it. Because once you've made a batch, you can produce a batch from that batch, from that batch, from that batch, and it just continues. But you need good weather to do it. It needs to be good, warm, sunny, hot days.
Or you can just buy it and save yourself the hassle.
But yeah, the thing is, it doesn't colonize your filter. So you're putting it in, and it will help your issue, but it's not the right bacteria to colonize the filtration. So you're removing the ammonia and nitrite with the bacteria that then doesn't colonize the filter. So you're just elongating the process, perhaps. Yeah. So it's very handy to have in an amount to start with. But you still got to colonize your filter with either another product or time, or best is some mature media from another setup if you've got some.
So another part to the question was then that he actually asked was the level that which is safe to the point where they're not going to be, because I can't remember what Rick actually said when we was there on the day, and he was saying it was when he was talking with Evo, and he said that you can always add salt to bring it down, and lower it down a little bit. And Evo said, is that a temporary thing though, or is that a permanent thing? And he said, well, is it? And it never really answered the question as to say whether it was or wasn't.
It doesn't lower it. It makes it less toxic to the fish.
Yeah.
So basically,
at what level is it at shit zone? Let's break it down into, we're okay here, we're not so okay here. It's a bit iffy, and this is shit level.
So red's shit, orange is okay on most tests.
Orange is okay, but we're 0.3, 0.4, 3, 5 what? Can we put? Do you know any figures that you can say what is?
I don't know. I don't even know what
it says on test kit.
In the test kits, you'll normally have yellows 0, oranges 0.3 or whatever, and then 0.5 and whatever. But I don't know the actual milligrams per liter, because you just look at the colour. But if it ain't red,
NT Labs kit, it shows levels of grade from clear to slight pink, pinker, red, and really red. Yeah. And then on the 3 middle ones, it has goes into a skull and crossbones kind of warning. So I'm guessing, mate, whenever you get to that kind of, that's your shit level. So when you get to the skull and crossbones, and if you're beyond that, then you're like panicking, running around like, what the fuck do I do level? So water change, mate, is the best thing you can do and get that bad.
Yeah.
You
shouldn't be getting to that level.
You shouldn't be getting to that level.
Not with a normal koi pond with a handful of fish. If your ammonia is now under control, the bacteria will already be starting. If you've got salt at that level, chances are, what's he talking, 10, 20 fish in a 4,000 gallon pot? It's the stock density's minuscule. A lot of the problem.
I heard a no from below.
Yeah, I did. That's why I paused and said, "Go on, Alan. It's froze. Or
he's not there.
I'm listening intently.
There was a definite, distinct no that came from Alan.
When
Why did you say no?
distinct no would be on water changing. If you do big water changes, all you do is extend the life of the negative problem. And this has always been the problem I've had. I've seen all the time people saying, "Oh, do water changes." No, don't. If you're at 0.3, it ain't an issue. Just keep on feeding them through it. End of. You need to feed through it. You can't keep changing water because you're just back to square one, and you'll continue the cycle, and it'll take longer and longer to get the bacteria to multiply. So I never ever worry about it. I just feed through it.
Right.
There you go.
That's the same with the new pond syndrome. A lot of people do too many regular water changes.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to try and keep your water in your pond and in the system in order to get your levels where they need to be. You know, obviously clean your filters out and then put new water in then. But I've never done a 25 or 50% water change in my life.
So the one thing I have found over the years with a lot of new pond keepers is they end up cleaning their filters too much, and then you're not letting the shit accumulate enough to actually start the next part of the cycle because it's being cleaned and washed out. Can you see what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
Especially with easy pods. If you've got a brand new pond and you've got a brand new easy pod, you want that to build up with some crap first before you then give it a clean.
It all depends on your stocking level as well, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't remember who it was, but there was someone last year put a brand new easy pod on their pond, and then they were cleaning it 3 times a week on a new pond, and wondering why the levels never changed because they weren't allowing the crap to build up long enough to actually start the cycle itself. So they were in like a prolonged new pond for longer than what they needed to be. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, prolong the process.
Yeah.
So when you clean your filters out, then, right? Because you've all said this, like, and I'm going to have to call it out because it is the biggest lot of bullshit I've ever heard. You don't do a 20% water change in your pond.
Not as a 20% water change, no.
There, all right. So you're gonna reword it a little bit because when you flush your filter system out 3 times, you're taking 20% of your water out.
Well, it depends how big
your pond is, isn't it?
Well, I've seen how big your pond is. If I flush my filters out 3 times, that's 300 litres, 369, it's 900 litres out of my pond. That's way more.
So what I'm getting at, Gaz,
10%.
what I'm getting at, Gaz, is when we're looking at nitrite levels, and you do a bit of research on the internet, the first thing that you'll come across is do a 25% water change.
I'd agree, mate. Yeah, I don't think that taking out. I do a weekly 10%. If I clean my filters, I boil them all up and let them run once, and then I drop out 300 litres and I put that back in, and I do that every week. That way, then I get a fresh little bit of water in. But I've no way of cleaning my filters without taking water out and putting water back in.
Yeah, of course.
That's the bad bit, which I was meaning by it.
But Gaz, your pond, Gaz, is your filters. What do you say? 300 litres. Yeah. You've got huge filters to a small volume of water for the pond. Compared to most people. Most people have got a 3,000 gallon pond with a little box on it.
If you go to any tropical fish shop and the first thing that you turn around and say to them and say, "Excuse me, right, I've got problems with my water," the first thing they will do is tell you to drop 2 inches of that tank every day for 5 days, then retest. And that's what they've always said.
They've been saying that for years in the textbook.
Yeah. So I mean, technically, we're saying that we don't think that's right then.
We don't use a lot of water, to be honest.
Too much. If you feed through it, but you still keep losing fish, you ain't got no to eat that food that you keep wanging in there.
If you're losing fish, you got a problem, ain't you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If you get a large spike in it and it's too high, but this is why I've always said a pond with an even balance, where you've got something that can take out the levels of everything, and then plants in it that can absorb as it goes through the stage of the nitrifying bacterial circle.
Acts as a buffer.
To be honest, the trouble is people. A lot of brand new ponds are all crystal clear and whatever, but a natural pond with a bit of slightly green water, algae eats ammonia, is part of its natural. That's just what it does. So if you could turn around and say, well, actually turn off your UV and let the pond go green, and your water will be fine. And then you can filter the algae back out over a period. There's different ways of doing
it, isn't there?
But yeah, at the end of the day.
Feed through it. Alan says, as he says, to feed through it. But I don't mean that. I'm not meaning this in any. If you've got it and it's not 0.3, don't worry about it. Keep feeding through it. The fish will continue the cycle and it will continue to do what it needs to do. If you're at stupid, massively high levels and all of a sudden you've not been paying attention and you're starting to lose fish because of it, you're going to have to water change some of it.
Yeah.
If you're at that level where we're trying to find a balance and we're trying to sort of filters out to get them up to those kind of levels where they're doing what they should be doing, ease off with the cleans, feed a little bit more and let it ride through the actual maturing side of things.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the circumstances and how high your levels are. But 0.3, as you're saying, Alan, is nothing to worry about. When we start getting to levels above that,
if you get up to 0.5, then you need to change what you're doing a little bit, knock back on the feeding a little bit, and do small water changes, but not massive water changes. Massive water changes are counterproductive.
There we go. Sweet. That's all I wanted to clarify. And it weren't really so much for myself. It was because somebody's going to come back and say, "Whoa, I fed like shit, man, and all the fish are dead."
That's what the word I was trying to get across when I was saying about cleaning filters too much. You end up being counterproductive.
Yeah, it's like you were saying earlier. You've got your easy pod, and when you're feeding heavy, you're cleaning 3 times a week because you have to do. But your filter system's already matured. It's already up there at that level, and it's already doing its job. Again, increase filtration or increase good bacteria by feeding it into your pond for your filter system to mature more with the Bacterial pluses and everything else, pond bombs and all the other.
That's the key. He's adding that, and I mean, I constantly use it, even though I just put it in because I like putting it in. I know you can't overdose on it, and it does it good, And that's just me with a bad habit, I suppose. But if it's a good thing to put in there, I don't see a problem with it, so I do.
But it's a natural bacteria that you'd have in a natural pond that would be in there anyway, in a bigger environment, a more natural environment.
Yeah,
you're just adding the same as if you're adding clay. A koi pond is such a clean, sterile starting point. You're just putting in those natural. You put in some clay and you put in some Bacterial plus, and you just trying to make it a little bit more a natural environment, basically, to some degree.
Right. Well, the next question. Sorry, Vince.
To get it to where it really needs to be, it takes time. And like you said, algae will take away ammonia, which is why it really does grip my shit when I see people scrubbing the walls of their ponds. You've just killed 90% of your eco-filtration and your eco-biosystem.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a knob on YouTube, mate, that the pond guy, and I'll call him a knob because he is a fucking knob.
Pondo man.
The pond, whatever he's called, mate. Fuck me.
You need another banner, man.
Sorry, mate. I'm having to use the F-bomb quite a lot. That bloke is fucking dangerous to the koi hobby, man. He's literally drains ponds down, takes fish out. Like, he calls it a cleaning service, but to be quite honest, all he's actually doing is taking all the goodness out of a pond and filling it back up with dechlorinated water and throwing the fish back in. And he puts videos out all the time about why koi grow bigger in like natural environments, and then he puts his fish on that looks like it's been fucking slapped up. It's like big and fat and oh god. So if anybody that is looking at YouTube, don't fucking pay a blind bit of attention to that.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, just for shits and giggles, replace the name with the
Vince the Twisted One, the GKG at no count accepts any liability.
Sorry, man. He grits my shit.
Hey, mate, at the end of the day, right? I mean, he has an opinion himself, and everybody else is entitled to have an opinion as well. So, I mean, it makes no sense to me. Like,
Did you see the one where he opened up that box filter and he's literally scraping loads and loads of shit off of this sponge and it's going,
It's all good stuff.
that's liquid gold, that is. That's what keeps your fish alive.
Yeah. That's how bad he is, man. So
Vince the Twisted One, the GKG at no count accepts any liability.
he can have an opinion, but it's exactly what we come on here to stop, and that is all the crap information getting to people that don't know anything about ponds, etc. So if you are new to it and you come across his videos, because he gets loads of views, just don't follow any of his advice because
I tell you what, I'd love to see him and Alan in the same room together.
I'd sit in a room with him, mate.
Alan, if you pick a window, you're leaving.
I have always stated, and I have always said, like, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I'm cool with that. But I ain't going to turn it into a shit show where we all go.
Oh, no.
I'm one individual, because that ain't me. It's not what I'm about. I've been at the back end of the receiving end of that, and it ain't no fun. So on that note, we'll leave that one there for now. We'll move on to the next question. Which is a question from Vicky, and it's to all of the panel. So we're going to get to go through. I'm going to go last because then I can nick ideas from you guys. Panel question: if there's one thing you could achieve in the koi keeping hobby, what would it be? I will put that one in what I can see in the order of, which is first one being Vince. I'll be right back.
Give me the question again.
If there's one thing you could achieve in the hobby, koi keeping, what would it be? So let's say you've achieved one set target goal. What would be the one thing that I like? Everybody's proper thinking on this one, Vicky. Nice one. That's why I'm going last, because I will like.
Well,
I have an answer now anyway.
I did speak to Alan briefly on this on Sunday, and that for me would be to actually show my fish, just at least the once. But you know, it scares the living shit out of me. You know, it's not that I don't know how to handle my fish. It's just that you've always got that little bit of unpredictability. You know, look at the koi show last year where you had that 1 meter chagoy.
Let's look at this. Number one, you ain't got a 1 meter chagoy.
No, right? But it's still.
Number two, all right, when bagging your fish up is no different to buying a fish from your dealer and bringing it home.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah, I'd go with that. If you're doing it, oxygenating it, it's the same, isn't it? It is.
Mate, if you see the fish that come from Japan, Twisted, man, with honest to God, man, you open a bag, it nearly knocks you the fuck out with the amount of ammonia that's in there, mate. Right? Them fish are fine. You'll be fine. Do it.
Do it, Vince.
To see you're British.
That's Vince's then. To show one of your own fish that you've grown on yourself, mate. Yeah, that would be your achievement. Rick, same question to you.
It would have to be to produce a bloodline that's unique to our farm that can stand on its feet against anything in the world.
Sweet.
That's it. That wouldn't, quite simply. 30 years later.
That's what you're trying to achieve now anyway, Rick, isn't it?
It is what we're trying. That's exactly what I'm trying to achieve. And have been, but it's might be a few more years yet.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Go on then, Crafty, same question to you.
Mine is actually quite simple, and that I would love to be a fully fledged judge.
Oh, you got to be nice to Alan then.
I can't, mate, because I'm a dealer, mate, and I'm not allowed to.
He's screwed. He's screwed in the Alan. He'd have to get through you first, and you can keep swapping him back down. No, thanks.
He ain't fucking nothing to worry about, is he? Thick northerner, man.
You wouldn't want to be a judge. You just get crap all the time.
You just need to
You could be a judge.
To go through all that.
You could be a judge in Japan. You can do the training and go out to Japan and judge.
Well, that's the thing. Go on now.
That's not strictly true, Rick. You don't have to train to be a judge in Japan. You just need to be a member of the Shinkai-ku, and that's all you need. You probably know exact shit about fish, but they'll let you judge.
That's the craft he's in.
Easy achievement.
A fucking long way away.
There you go. Kick, job done.
No, fully fledged qualified judge was what I said.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So that's crafties. Alan, yourself.
Probably be a koi dealer. I love the challenge. Yeah.
Having a swap jobs.
We can make a program out of it, like wife swap.
Yeah.
Job swap koi shop. Right, so to become a koi dealer, that surprised me. I didn't think that would be the answer. Right, then,
I've done every race in the koi hobby.
Well, that's what. To be fair,
nobody likes to show off, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to produce decent sized koi on a regular basis. 50 to 70 cm.
Okay, so is that your next target, Daz, or are you achieving that yet?
No.
Okay, I don't know what you're achieving. When you say regular basis,
yeah, I mean being able to consistently produce them to that size year in, year out. I don't mean in the space of a year. Obviously, they're going to take 3-4 years to get to that size, but yeah, they're nowhere near that at the moment.
But that would be your aim, and that'd be your goal.
Yeah, that'd be my aim. Yeah, that's what I do, dial in. Yeah.
I don't know, so I guess.
Come on, guys.
It's mine. Well, for me, I think it would be. I would very much like to go visit Japan and go around and see the koi scene. That would be my achievement, to go over there and do something and do a cracking video or sequence of videos in Japan and see all the splendor that is. That would be what I'd like to do. That would be my achievement of this hobby and what I do. And I have a secondary one on top of it to make my forever bonsai. At least, no, come on, I can have two, because the likelihood is one way it can happen anyway.
I can have two.
I can have two because it's my show, so shit to y'all. My other one would be to get my forever bonsai to fucking grow, because that pisses me off. I love the fish; it's beautiful and it's stunning, but it don't want to grow for shit. So that would be my other one. My secondary.
We're going to fire that back to Vicky.
Yeah, come on, Vicky. Yes, yeah, because you're in comments and you're in there. So it seems that was a good question, actually. And everybody out there, what is your achievement that you'd like to achieve within the hobby? If it could be one thing, what would you want to do? See what everybody else's answers are. While we have a natter in the chat and I go through a few more of these questions. Oh, we've got another one there from Seska. Who will be going to the BKKS National Show?
Is that the Newark one?
That's Coventry one.
Coventry one, isn't it?
I'll be there.
Oh, that's Alan's got to be there, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm going on the Sunday.
You're going on the Sunday? That's the furthest one, in the Coventry one. That's where I stopped over about last time. I went to both days, which were pretty damn good.
No, that was the Devlin one you went to both days.
Kent one.
Oh, was it? The Kent one. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be going then, because it's not that far to drive down to the Coventry one. All that bad.
What's the date for that one?
It's all right.
1st and 2nd of June. Or was it 1st and 2nd of July?
July.
Yeah, 1st and 2nd of
July.
1st of June today, mate. Alan shitting himself.
That's the one. massive, great big kahaku male to go with your other fish.
Yeah, it's my birthday that weekend. Wife's taking me away down to the Cotswolds.
Down to Coventry, did you say?
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
She dropped me off on the way.
It's not far. It's not far from the Cotswolds, mate.
Yeah.
It's next door. It's just, swing back up, 20 mile up motorway, job's a good one.
Just get them to drop you off like you did on Sunday.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Estelle.
Yeah, like when I went away on holiday on our anniversary to Poland. Yeah, it's going to get out really well, that is.
It's your birthday.
There's a quick message for Alan. Cheers for taking the time, Alan, and showing us how to select a fish. That's Humbercoy, which was the father and son, Alan and Leo, that was on the actual day. So a bit of a thank you from them two, mate.
Yeah, it was really good seeing Leo. It's great to see young future talent.
It is. That's
and
what we
see
need
your
more of.
father. Yeah, father and son teams. We need more of them to push the young ones on. And Leo's got a good eye.
Yeah.
Yes. He did well.
Because when you look across the board, the youngsters in koi are very few and far between.
Yeah.
To be honest, Daz, it's always been that way. You'll find probably 5 to 10 a year appear on the scene, and then they'll disappear when the hormones get rife.
Yeah. So you think it's an old man thing? We reach a certain age in life, then we think, what shall I do with myself? I'll dig a pond and I'll start doing koi.
What you've got to look at is how we live, first and foremost. Right. So even one of the big strains for our hobby is that youngsters now are getting their own place when they're older.
Yeah.
And most new places haven't even got back gardens now, to be fair.
Yeah.
And what back garden they have got is enough for a garden chair and a table. So
a little shed, yeah.
This hobby picks up, and when you actually look back at your YouTube like analytics, a majority of your viewers are like 40s onwards, and that is when people have actually paid back their debts, they've got their own place, and then they start to put a hole in the ground and then move into it. So it's very difficult for the youngsters to actually progress unless they're living at home with dad all the way through and show that interest, etc.
Yeah,
that part of the problem.
Yeah, we
ain't gonna fix that though.
Fucking government can't fix it, mate. So neither can we, could we? You know what I mean?
Quick question for Alan in between this one from Koi Beginnings. Alan, have you ever been offered a backhander to place their koi high up?
I'll give him a backhand.
You can't ask that.
Have you ever been?
I'll answer the question. I'll answer that question. No, nobody ever has. And it would be the worst thing we ever did.
So, Koi Beginnings, there's chance for you yet, mate. If you're slipping the right amount, mate.
Is he thinking of showing?
Right prize.
Is he thinking of showing?
Mike did show his fish. He did
unfortunately, a lot of those fish.
Mixed up.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But then he lost a lot of them.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, he's come through the other side now. He's on the mend.
Oh, he's doing awesome now, yeah.
We had, mate. We're cool to talk to you on Sunday as well, bud.
Look at Mike Lawson's comment, 10:03, man.
There we go. MRSA has been caused by antibiotic overuse and antibiotic resistance, why it's so dangerous. So it's a similar kind of thing like what I was saying. Thank you very much, Skeg. MJH Koi. If a koi got a sore and got dead scales, would you leave them or remove the scales?
Remove them.
If you're competent enough, remove them. But if you're not, leave them. Who are you dealing with, isn't it?
Technically, if they're bad enough on their own and you aren't confident enough, they will come away anyway, won't they?
Yeah, they'll drop out, yeah.
You'll see fish flashing, trying to loosen them up and get rid of them if there's an issue. But
Kasuri actually sell quite a decent little first aid kit, It's in like a little wallet, You get tweezers and forceps and a scalpel and all sorts in there. It's actually really worth having. You know.
I've not seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About £5. They're all right. It's actually one of the things that I don't really class as being overpriced in the koi world. It's worth having.
And just for you, Crafty, I bought that kit probably 15 years ago for £1.30.
Did you? Assholes, mate. Yeah, it was that old money as well, where the banknotes were the size of flags.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. I want to check this one, guys. Simon Shears put there, zeolite will help reduce nitrates and ammonia, and BSP works best when nitrate ammonia is low. I thought zeolite only removed ammonia.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If it takes out the ammonia, it's gonna reduce the nitrate by.
Because you're not going to have it, because it's not going to get to that instead of. So don't remove nitrite. It removes the ammonia before it becomes it. Yeah. And it can also be recharged. You can reuse zeolite too if you put it in salt. I believe
it's quite good stuff. Yeah.
Did Alan just fall off his chair then?
He's going to do a mooner.
Put your old boy away. No one needs to see that.
I'm back.
My first aid kit is about 11 years old. Alan will probably remember. Remember the kit that Duncan Griffiths used to produce?
Yeah, never bought one.
Yeah, I've still got that kit.
Don't Alan look like the naughty kid that sits at the back of the class?
It's only because his phone's in the opposite
direction. Yeah, it's only because he's in portrait, not landscape.
I've always been a rebel. Always been a rebel, mate.
There we go. Dave's Fish Emporium, third time lucky. I never saw one of them come through, mate. So, do you see a time when consistency from the English koi farms beats Japanese ones? As a question for Rick.
Yeah.
Not.
Well, it's like you said, isn't it? That you let's say you're at 30 years experience, and those guys are at 2 generations, 3 generations of experience. To catch up when they're still keeping leveling up.
Yeah,
you're always playing catch up. Yeah.
You'll have a good you'll have a good spawner, and you'll be able to produce fish of one variety that might be equivalent. But of the 300 farms in Japan, they're always going to be ahead of us, unless by some miracle you get some magic combination of genetics, which doesn't really happen. So. Yeah, we're improving massively. All the English farms are improving massively, but we're always chasing shadows, aren't we?
At the end of the day, Rick, we're always dictated to by the shortness of the summer and the crap weather, aren't we? Japan has a lot longer, hotter summer than we do.
That and the infrastructure and the number of breeders, and they got everything in their favour, and that's so they should. They started it.
That's why they are the koi capital of the world, because everything's perfect for it there.
I know it's perfect. The winters are pretty cold.
Aaron from Humber Koi says his achievement would have a photo on Alan's knee, the same as my lad.
If you come to the show in Coventry, I'll make that happen. You're welcome, Alan.
Black Country Koi's achievement would be to get a twisted koi mug.
But his throat ain't deep enough.
Oh dear.
Oh, Davey.
We'll get a twisted koi mug as well. There you go. Here they all come now. There could be a lot of these.
They're coming out now, isn't they? John, I need some more mugs.
MGH Koi says starting my own koi business. Never happened. You never know, mate. Never say never.
Never say die.
Make it yourself happen.
Vicky's achievement I would like to do this year is to learn and experience as much as I can with koi, keeping and breeding. There you go, sweet.
And I think you'll do well at that, to be honest.
Yeah.
DT Car says, to be fair, I've already done a big achievement with making long-term friendships through a hobby I love. There you go.
Oh, what a geez.
DT, mate, sorry I couldn't come onto your live at the weekend. I was busy, as you've seen. But thanks for the invite.
Gary Webb says, my biggest achievement in the koi hobby was to have a nice pond and start ponding YouTube channel. And I did it badly, which I managed to do easily. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Now, pack it up.
He knows I'm only messing. To be able to keep koi longer than 5 minutes, now that would be one hell of an achievement before I get bored and give them away. That's a fucking good one for you. Truly is.
Oh, yes.
How can you get bored?
Oh, mate, he likes the pictures. He likes the fish. I shit you not. That's a statement out of his own mouth. He fell in love more with a picture from Quinnykoi of a kahaku than he actually did the real fish when he got it up.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Only you can do that, mate. But it's true, though. Dave's Fish Emporium says, what youngster has 1,500 for the smallest Nexus or drum? Yeah, that's it, mate.
Okay, I actually really disagree with that. You don't need 1,500 quid.
No, that's right. But he's saying that the filter systems, if you wanted to go to what everybody says, you must have this, must have that, must have the other.
But you don't need that, do you? You can keep koi, with a box filter, homemade filters. You can keep koi and you can keep them well. And
they come with their own problems, granted, but then so does a Nexus and so does a drum, and so
you can get a cheap system for 40 quid.
But that's part of the hobby itself, If you ain't got the money to make that work, Alan, you've got homemade Bakisha, haven't you?
Yep, I have.
So it's all part of the learning cycle. You really don't need a lot of money. So, and you also don't need a lot of money to buy koi either. If you buy them, from Rick's place, what do you do, mate? You do £3, £5, £10 fish, don't you?
All sorts, mate. Suit any budget, and that's the learning, isn't it? That's
and I sell Tozai at £10.
Yeah.
So you don't need a great deal of money.
You need a bit of space to put a pond. That's the problem.
Yes.
That is the issue, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Now there, this one there, and I'm going to put this one, and I'm going to say, but my biggest achievement was smashing cancer, mate.
Yes.
Damn right.
Fucking right.
And for many, 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 many more years to come, mate.
Can't top that, can you?
No.
No. I mean, it's not really correlated, mate, but 100% behind you. 100%.
Yeah. So get over to Will's channel, give him some love. Not only is he beat cancer, but he's also an ex-squaddy as well. So
okay, that's off to you, sir.
Well done, Big Will. Nice one. Well done. And well done. They're all going to keep coming in, mate. But yeah, 100%. Now then, have we got any more for any more? Has anybody else got any more questions you would like to ask? Any of the panel?
I've got one. Have you fixed your roof yet, guys?
No, god damn it, I haven't. The guy was supposed to be. And if you watch him, mate, when you say you're going to ring someone and you say you're going to do what you're going to do, how about picking phone up? Because I don't want to ring you up. When I ring you up, you're going to get a lot of shit.
Do you think he's watching, Gaz?
Probably not, but made me feel a little bit. I've still got a goddamn hole in my roof. But my neighbour's wall's finished.
I've got a question. Question for you, Alan. Ozzy, what category is your least favourite in terms of varieties? I don't know, you don't like Goshki, but is there
butterfly?
No, I don't like Goshki. Your tongue should fester and drop out, Mr. Tate.
Very horrible fish. Should be barred.
Boring, mate. Goshkis are with you, Alan.
I know who'll know the answer to this question for you and say it. Crafty.
Put it this way, it's where the Aragoki sit.
Right.
Oh, you in the old Kawari Mono section.
Yeah, abomination.
No. That word
No,
is
yeah.
reserved for butterfly koi.
Well,
a match of Kawabaki would be sat in that category. So you're not a fan of them?
They're proper fish.
Oh, well, that's all right then. But that's the last time I went to one of the shows. They came into that category. They are in the. Is it
Koi? Yeah.
But that's your worst category.
But why?
What, Aragogi? They're just an abomination, mate.
But why?
Because they're crap.
No, that's not an explanation.
But why?
I can never understand why the Japanese breeders produce Deutsch fish without scales. Then somebody thought, well, we'll put scales back on them now.
But make them bigger.
The public will buy them. There's this guy, Crafty, of in America, in the UK, loves them, and he'll sell them in his shop with his butterfly koi.
Mate, I've got some quality Aragoki in the main pond as well.
The worry for me is you're going to go with short-bodied koi next.
No,
the day you do that, you and me will fall out big style.
I can't talk. I've got 2 Aragokis.
I do. I have one, but I have one, but it wasn't. I couldn't tell it was when it was a young fish. I didn't know.
Yeah, but is it a Deutsch fish?
No,
one of them comes
full
from Ricky.
Scale, big. Well, actually, it's classed as German scale, then, isn't it? Is it? Is that right? When they're fully scaled, but bigger scales.
That's Aragoki.
Yeah, Aragoki is a fish I wouldn't have me pond.
The different term is German scale. There's 2 names for it.
You won't see come and visit, Alan. I've got a beautiful Aragoki Ginmatsuba.
No, you haven't.
And it's a butterfly one.
There's no such thing as a beautiful one.
It's a beautiful Aragoki Ginmatsuba because it came from my man Ricky.
I know, but Ricky's daft sometimes. He does silly things. He crossbreeds multiple things and gets these odd balls.
Somebody's going fishing here. Let's see if we can catch one. Come on.
There you
What
go.
do you reckon to that?
Crafty, put your pictures in there.
I do that. I do that.
What you doing, Crafty?
You fucking doing it. Don't be giving it all to me, son.
He's playing with his chicks, or he's looking in the Bible.
No, I actually enjoy judging any variety of koi, even goshi. I'm not a goshi lover, but the technical elements of that fish.
Yeah, that's the Bible. Yeah,
that's the Bible. Yeah,
your boy. Your boy.
10% commission I get on each one of those that's sold.
I've got another question there for Alan. Has he ever come across a fish that was originally a sub 100-pound fish that has won a major prize?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Without a doubt. I actually sold the fish for £5 once. They took baby champion, young champion, adult champion, mature champion, and GC.
Wow. And it cost a £5.
And it cost a £5.
There you go. That's another achievement. Mick Lawson
Let's hope for my Aragoki yet then.
Yeah.
What's the biggest koi you've produced, Rick?
We got Crashigoi, probably 90 cm.
Shit, man.
So bigger. We had to get rid of the parents. It was too big, and the offspring are now too big. But yeah, they're not saying we don't do big fish for selling. We keep some for parents, and they become big. Just you can't stop them things growing. So yeah, it's not something like I say. We only really sell fish to Sansai anyway. But the few we keep, as parent fish, then they just keep on ticking along to whatever size their genetics are capable of. But yeah,
I got a question for you, Alan. What's your favorite? What's your favorite size class? Because I personally think that some fish, when they get to a certain size, start to look goddamn ugly. In my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. I find size 5 a very challenging section because 90% of all people can grow a fish to size 5.
Can you just confirm a size 5, Adam?
What's that
Because some
in
people
CM?
don't know the size ranges, mate.
55 to 65.
What's it going to be
55.
next year?
It'll be, I'm not telling you because it's not announced yet. You stop playing.
He's fishing, isn't he? He's fishing.
So your favourite category size?
Robin put it in the Robin put it in the vlog.
I haven't seen his blog.
Okay, well he has.
So your favourite category size is 55 to 65 cm, class 5.
Yeah.
Is that when you? Is that because that's where you fish? The fish is at its best, or is that?
No, it's because I think anybody can achieve that size. And you're finding sure the biggest number are in that size. When you start getting to 70 cm, the numbers drop. When you get to 80 and 90 cm, the numbers drop down dramatically. The biggest category is size 5.
Right.
It's a good size, though, isn't it? That's just
Yeah.
Standard koi size, isn't it?
Here's one for you, Al. What's the hardest variety or category to judge?
Probably Sankey.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'll go with Sankey.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
It's a hard fish to get right. There's so many technical elements in a Sankey. The heart is very easy. Shores, there's never a lot of shores on the shore scene. So Sankey are probably the hardest. There's just so many varying body shapes now. The sumi's changed over the years. Atarashi sumi came in, changed the goalposts for Sankey. So they're probably the hardest one to judge.
Okay. What about variety, i.e. category, outside of the Go Sankey range, where you've got so many different varieties?
Well, then you're looking at Kawari, because there's that many. There's so much in Kawari. You've got single coloured fish, pattern fish, so you've got to judge all the elements, and it's really hard for a single coloured fish to beat a pattern fish. Because technically a pattern fish is harder to produce than a single coloured fish. Anybody can produce Yamabukis or platinum Morgans or Chagois. Anybody can produce them. But other Kawaris, Matsukawa Baki and that are quite hard to produce to get quality ones.
Yeah.
So if you go out to Go Sangi, you're looking at Kawari. The other Goshi and that are easy to judge against Koromos. Bekos are only against Bekos. I might try and change that. I'm sick of them being by themselves.
Why do they have their own class, though?
It's something that happened years ago. I personally would put them in against Utsuris.
Yeah, Utsuri Mono.
Yeah. There's not much difference between... I mean, at the end of the day, an Utsuri is a Shua without Benny. A Beko is Sankey without Benny. So why not show them to get against each other? Shuas and Sankeys show against each other, so why don't Bekos and Utsuris show against each other? I'm working on it.
How do the Japanese do that?
Oh, Beko's still separate over there.
Yeah.
I didn't realise until we were looking into it over a week just how many types of Beko there is.
3, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know there were a yellow Beko till we were looking it up over a week. Oh,
Kiyanaka.
Yeah. A yellow Beko is quite nice. I'd be quite happy, but I've never ever seen one anywhere, I don't think.
No, because nobody actually breeds them. They're just...
Would that have the same traits as what a Kiyatsuri would have, where the sumi washes out? Would it have the same sort of traits as that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't they in essence two different fish though, a Becco and an Utsuri, because an Utsuri is a blackfish, isn't it? And Sanki is whitefish.
Yeah, they are technically different, but the number of Beccos you get in a show, is it worth having a separate class for them? Probably not. You're lucky if you get one or two in a show.
I got a beautiful Gimrin Becco.
Get it to the show, you win. Guaranteed prize money.
Show it, mate. There's your achievement. Kitchen done. Ticked off. Number one done there.
Cheating,
Yeah, I've got a beautiful Gimrin Becco, but I wouldn't have a Sanki in the pond.
But that surprised me. Why would you not have a Sanki? A Sanki is an amazing fish.
He's got one. He's got a metallic one. He's growing it on in his pond.
Yeah, now it's an Ishki.
Yeah.
I like that story.
It's still a Sanki.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alan. You've got one, Vince. Now you either have to move it on or eat your words. Right, another question from up north, Koi Pond, which is our site. Which breeder typically has the most success in shows? Sakai, Dainichi, or any others? I'm guessing, obviously, over in Japan.
Can I have a guess at this before you tell me I'm wrong? I believe Sakai, out of Sakai and Dainichi, would carry the most titles.
Sakai would.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I think Dainichi'd give them a damn good running for their money.
Yeah, in Japan it is Sakai and Dainichi. Sakai more than Dainichi.
What would be after that? Sakai, Dainichi, or what other?
Momotaro. Yep.
Top three.
Yeah, if you had the choice between a Momotaro fish and say a Shintaro fish, which would you go for?
If I was going on volume and body, it would be Momotaro. If I was going for elegant and skin quality, it would be Shintaro. But we'll see how Shintaro develop. He's got Sakai parents now, so he should be getting more volume on his fish. And if he can achieve the Sakai body shape with the skin quality he's got, they'll have some stunning fish. That's not easy.
Your favourite fish, if I'm right, Alan's a Shuru Utsura.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Is it right that you have a specimen pond with just them in?
Yep.
Sweet. I bet that looks good. Would you do us a favour 1 week? Would you perhaps maybe show us a screenshot, Photoshop of your pond? Not necessarily a garden or anything, but just of your fish.
They're in one lake, then. So not in a pond, they're actually in a lake.
In a lake. This is what we're rolling with the high rollers today, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have a pond, we have a lake. God damn. Can we have a boat
Alan's
trip?
got 2 lakes.
Have you got 2 lakes? Really?
I've actually got 3.
3, sorry. Yeah, sorry, 3. Mm.
I've got the use of 3 lakes.
Right. So you don't own them.
I don't own them, but I have gained permission of certain people to use
That's
their
got to be
lakes.
hard to catch your fish out there, though, if you ever need to.
How often do you see them?
No, I can drain them down. You don't think we'll have lakes that can't be drained? We just got a sluice gate and we'll just drain them down.
What size of literage are we talking? Or, gallon?
They're massive, mate. They are huge.
They are big.
Acreage? 6 acres, 4 acres, 3, 2?
Oh, there's probably one will have 500,000 gallon in it. One will be slightly smaller, and one the latest one's about 100,000 gallon.
Oh, only 100,000 gallon.
Yeah,
You're running off that Nexus.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of Erics running on it.
the beauty of it is, no electric costs, no nothing, no heating costs. It's great.
How many times from Will's Koi? How many times have you been to Japan, Alan?
Oh God, a few times. I think it's 8 or 9 times I've been out there.
And is that
To be
to
honest,
show? I mean, to judge, sorry.
No, just buy it and visit them. I don't always buy when I go out there. I have been known to be a tight git and not buy a thing. Just enjoy it.
How many times have you judged out in Japan, Alan?
I've never judged in Japan yet.
Just everywhere else in the world.
Oh yeah.
Right. Who would be your go-to if you were going to say, right, I'm going over to Japan and I'm going to go buy some fish? Which is your main place that you would go to? Who's your top man? Who's the guy that you would go to for said Shurawatsura?
Well, it's got to be Omasaka.
Omasaka for that. No.
Yeah.
It's still the number one.
There you go, guys. That's where your fish needs to come if you want to beat Alan.
And if I was going for Koharu, because Dainichi and Sakai are ridiculous prices, it would be Hosagan.
Yeah, they're nice.
What are your thoughts on Hodgkin Shower?
Haven't really taken a lot of notice of his shoreline yet. He's still a bit behind the rest. He isn't in Dainichi or Issa quality. He's got some nice shores, but I'm not really a shore lover. Too many deformities in them.
I'm starting to fall back in love with my Easter shower because soon he's starting to come back.
How old is it, Vince?
Huh?
How old is it?
That's the one that I got from Mike Koi Beginnings at Quinnicoy last April.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And this side now, then, and it's 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Sumi's starting to come back on it now, and it's starting to look pretty.
Is it breaking through properly, or is it still underlying?
Oh no, it's starting to break through now.
There we go. Best feeding regimes to encourage volume over length, or vice versa. There's a question for your own.
I think it's more on food content there, surely.
Yeah, it's not just about how much you feed, it's about your pond setup. If anybody watched Sakai's video, the length of his pond makes the fish work and build muscle as well. My ponds that I've built in the past have always been long and narrow. And have,
so they can do the up and down, cruising up and down, working up, building muscle mass, burning off energy, making them hungrier so that they feed more and keep producing good length.
Yeah. I even run my returns on a tamer, and all them returns are nothing more. They're not filtration. They're just pumping water down the length of it to make the fish work. And then they'll switch off. The tamer will switch off about 6 o'clock and not come back on 9 o'clock in the morning, and give them a rest period. Because you've got to rest fish up. You can't force them to swim non-stop all the time. So it's not just about how much you feed, it's about the current in your pond, the heat in your pond.
Yeah, it's all those categories all need
so
to
many
be
different factors, isn't there?
Yeah.
Temperature makes a massive difference. See, the higher the temperature, the quicker, the longer they grow, and the harder it is to get volume on them. Drop the temperature and they'll put the volume back on a lot easier. You lose the length. So yeah, it's the quickest, easiest way of changing the shape if you want to. But yeah, like I say, Alan, you've got to, if you want the fish to have proper muscle build up, not just bulk, then obviously you need the flow for them to work against, and the shape of the pond and everything else.
Yeah, you'll see the fish swim against the current, then they just stop swimming and glide all the way back to the start again and just keep doing that all day. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to watch them do that as well, because they swim up to it like they battle with it, and then they just ease up and just glide back with it, don't they?
Mm.
Has anybody else out there this evening got any more questions they would like to ask the panel? If not, speak now or forever hold your peace. Any more for any more? Because I've exhausted all the questions we had this evening, and thank you very much for everybody that has put something through. And if we have no more, I'm going to say a huge, great big thank you to all the guests this evening.
Can I just plug some, Cass?
Yeah, of course you can, mate. Feel free. This is your space. Do what you wish.
So,
anybody want to buy any chickens? Oh, sorry, we're not doing that now.
Just that confirmation that I've got 170 Momotaro Kahaku arriving very shortly. So I've managed to buy an unpicked pond from Momotaro himself. And I will be doing a grow out event and inviting all YouTubers down to Perfect Aquatics. Alan, if he's available, will be there. He'll be there. But it's going to be very similar to what Ricky done, where we're going to have a couple of little bits and bobs going on. Anybody that will take part, and there'll be more details coming on soon, will also be getting discount on anything in store. And if you haven't been down to my shop, we literally stock, I would say we've got the biggest dry goods shop in the UK for koi. I've also got 60 ponds of everything else, and they'll be discounted on live goods as well. So,
are you still running the Eric 4 on one of those ponds?
Say that again, mate.
Are you still running the Eric 4 on one of those ponds?
Yep.
Crafty, whereabouts are you?
Bedfordshire.
Right.
You know, it's worth just coming. I'll come down because he'd never been, and you know, it's big. It's a very big shop. You know, and
sounds interesting to me, mate. I'm up for that.
Yeah, I've got 60 ponds full of koi. So
has the big pond outside been redone?
No, we've got plans for that. So that's being drained down, and we're doing something on that. I'm not allowed to say what it is because it's going through planning. But we literally got one hurdle to jump on there. But we've also got a cafe there as well. So even if you come from long distance, those people. Yeah, no, we're gonna do complimentary food, etc., mate. So you know, no, we are doing complimentary food.
That's coming. That's it.
Yeah, we're going down free bacon butty, mate, and a trifle. Dan's quite passionate. Trifle.
Yeah, I want to make it a yearly event where I was going to be down there with us, but it's going to be very similar with regards to biggest growth in cold water and also heated, but also best quality. And I want to show the results as well, you know, because I'm sick to death of seeing growing shows happen where there's no results at the end of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's down. That's one reason I want YouTubers down, because I think it'd be quite good to pitch everyone against each other, you know, and see where we come out on top. Because I think it's just worth a bit of shit and giggles, to be honest.
It came on.
Yeah, you know, it gives everybody a bit of content, and it gets all YouTubers working together. Because I'm sick to death of all the crap that's gone on in the past. It's worth bringing everything together to try and work it out, you know.
100%, mate. Definitely agree with that. Yeah. I think you'd be good. I've got to agree as well. I mean, this evening was supposed to be about perhaps maybe getting at some point a little bit of some of the photos of my growing show, but I only got 3 people send the pictures through. So
that's the problem.
I mean, I understand it's obviously difficult. Some people pay attention to a group chat and don't, and those of us that don't. And obviously, I can only share what I can share, which is my own and 3 other people that share them. So, I mean, there's way more people that's in it than that. So there's not much point just showing the photo until I get photos through from them all. But you're right. A lot of times, there are a lot of growing shows that go on, and it just, you get your fish, people walk away, and then nothing else is heard. And then months and months and months down the line, if not over 12 months down the line, you get somebody that put up a video saying, here's the winner. So it might be a case that might be one of them. Because I did try, I didn't get the photos to be sent through, and it's not the case. People do what they do.
I mean, I've paid good money for these fish.
What are you looking at price-wise or size-wise? Do you know of anything? Or
Well, they was actually due in April. When I first, it was one of the first, because what I wanted to do was when I moved down to Perfect, when these become available and I got given the okay that I could have some, they was actually due to be released a lot earlier, but there was a load of messing around with the shipping which delayed them. So I don't know how big they're going to be now because they've been in Japan for some time. Although, be it, I'm told that the shipping cost has actually increased somewhat, down to the fact that we've got extra boxes in comparison to what the original deal was due to the size of the fish. So I don't know what the actual size is going to be. So, but I also don't know what the pricing is going to be until I've got everything in and I've sat and done the math. But
it's something you're going to be putting out in very near future.
Yeah, I'm not looking to make a hell of a lot of money off of it. What I want to do is get everyone down the shop to actually see who we are as well, because
a bit of a promotional thing to it as well.
Yeah,
get
but,
people
if you look at our title, it's called Perfect Aquatics. If you look at all the other dealers, it's Quenny Koi or the Koi Collection. You got the word koi in it, so we often get overlooked. Although, be it, we've got one of the biggest retail shops in the UK, and people that know it, they come to us time and time again. And I've had some very good feedback of late from people that have been there saying they like what they're seeing. So, yeah, I'm turning it around, and I want everyone to come. So, the invite's going to be out there. I'll share more stuff with you, Gaz, so you can put it out there, mate, as well. And we'll get a good day out of it.
The last time I was down at Henlow, Chris Wall was still running the place.
That was the last time I was there.
Had a good chat with him about it on Sunday.
Yeah. It's
and as soon as I jogged his memory, he's like, "Oh fucking hell, mate! I haven't seen you in ages."
Yeah. We got big plans down there. So there's a large pond that I've decommissioned, just for the simple fact that it was just a huge body of water. It's no good for koi. I like selling koi because you'd spent half the day trying to fucking capture things. So I've decommissioned that, and we're going to fill that in, and we're putting a polytunnel up. So at the end of the season, and I'm going to be putting about 8 ponds in there where I'm going to be doing grow out events and things like that, similar to what Ricky does, or even buy toes in and develop my own amount of, bring them on, gives us the ability to overwinter in a warm environment as well, so I've got lots and lots of plans, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm doing bloody well there. I've got a hell of a lot of customers that have come since I've been there.
Well, I'll be down, mate. That's 100% guaranteed.
That'd be
down to me.
You involved, Rick, or what?
Yeah, I'll come on out. Yeah, why not?
Do a grow and show, mate.
I'll come and buy one. Stick it
Yeah,
somewhere.
mate. Yeah, but I'll overwinter it for you, mate, at a cost.
All right. Yeah.
I'll do it as a carry, mate.
Fair enough.
Don't mind.
I'll put it somewhere.
Hey, with the special tunnel he's got, he won't need Azakari.
I've heard about his tunnel and you, Vince.
Oh, mate. Can't beat his tunnel.
Final question.
Apparently you can.
Final question of the night that is from Skeggy for Alan, which is, how about the old school sleek torpedo koi, Alan, rather than the ones that look like they're on steroids? Question.
Personally, when I judge on body shape. Volume is a different thing for me. So I've got no problem having a Matsunoski shaped koi beat as sack-eye fish. I'm just different. Everybody's getting hung up on volume on sack-eye fish and Dainichi fish. I still think you can't beat a stunning Matsunoski fish.
But that's not volume. That's power.
No, Mike, it's not.
Yeah, it's like different starters on things like this, yellow monkey crap and stuff.
Oh no. Yeah, don't start him on that. We had that Sunday.
They come up with all these new selling techniques, volume, power. Oh my god!
Red Tiger.
What do you think to some of these new names that are coming through, though, for fish that are just
this on that.
Black diamond.
And Karashi guys and Karashi guys. And Benny guys and Benny guys.
Yellow monkey, red tiger, and all the rest of them. I mean,
they're
It's
just
selling,
names.
isn't it? It's just
They're
selling.
They're not varieties, they're just names.
yeah,
Yeah.
just different name to the same brand.
Yeah.
Yep. They're just a fancy name, nothing more. They're not a variety.
We had this discussion Sunday though, didn't we? I mean,
Yeah.
the Kigoi is now obsolete because of the Karashi Goi.
Yeah. Yeah. But it'll come back again.
Till someone does some nice ones.
Yeah.
That's the thing, innit? Crashagoi grow a lot bigger, a lot easier, don't they?
Yeah, they
It's
do.
the monster fish, though, aren't they? They are. I mean, that's what I mean. When you some of them, when they get so much size in them, they are absolutely fucking beasts. Are they? They are huge.
But then some of them, when they get too big, they actually
Yeah.
look out of shape.
Yeah,
They do.
that's what
They're
the
swollen.
mouth, the face is like they got chubby, really big chubby cheeks, and then the little mouth in the middle. It's weird. It's like it's almost too much. It's gone too fat. I don't know how big they.
I like it when they look like that.
Yeah,
There's an element
I
of
don't. And my tag's starting to look like that. I'm not happy about it. It's got
A
that.
bit like Daz when he's tugging on a trifle.
Yeah, it's got that like pouted head, and it's
Yeah. Remind me a bit of a goldfish.
yeah, black Zeus, exactly. Yeah, like black Zeus, exactly.
Yeah.
Dibs, you.
Thanks, Zeus.
Right then, chaps. Thank you very much for joining us all this evening, and we have maintained near enough throughout most of the evening, but back, well, not the latter end, but well before halfway, almost nearly 100 people all night. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking with us and joining us this evening. Thank you very much, Alan and Crafty, and Rick and Twisted, and obviously, of course, my co-host Ardaz. It's been a great evening this evening, and I would like to all thank you all very much for coming with your questions and
enjoyed it.
Usual thing, guys. If you can do me a huge favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Until next time, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Smiling.
Finally.
Stay there, Alan. Stay there. Stay there, Alan.
Thanks very much. Good night, all.
Good night.
All right.